JCI, we rise as one. We're gonna rise as one. JCI, we are good together. JCI, we are greater together. JCI, we are good together. JCI, we are greater together. Faith in God gives meaning and purpose to our lives. The brotherhood of man makes all of the nations unite. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Our service to our people is the best work of life to create positive changes through opportunities we provide. Let's go! We rise as one. Here in JCI, we rise as one. We're gonna rise as one. We rise as one. Here in JCI, we rise as one. JCI, Makati together. JCI, we are greater together. JCI, we are bigger together. JCI, we are greater together.
Kami po ay pumupunta doon sa mga tribo, sa mga IPs para po magpatulong po sa kanila kung ano po ang mga katangian ng mga leaders sa mga IPs. Pero alam naman po natin na ang IPs po, kayo po ang unang naging leader. Tama po ba?
Regarding po doon sa activity natin, napakaganda. Napakaraming tayong natulungan at napasaya.
Maraming salamat po sa mga ayong tumulong, lalo-lalo na po sa JCI, sa inyo po. Maraming pong salamat sa Panginoon dahil sa inyo, dahil po sa Kanya, nandiyan po kayo.
Ayan, nandito tayo ngayon sa Victoria kung saan tayo tutuloy na ating tutulugan.
Alam mo, napakasaya na itong experience na to, no? Because nakita natin ang mga mangyan, hindi lang sa isang lugar, pero sa iba't ibang lugar. And then tomorrow, akit tayo ng bundok, no? Using kabayo, no? So mag-horseback riding tayo.
Ilang oras po ba yun, sir? 2 hours.
2 hours. So
2 hours tayong
hanapin na natin.
kakabayo?
Yes, yes.
Ayan na. Hello!
Hi!
Ito po ang munti naming tahanan na mag-stay tayo dito ng 2 nights. So bukas, pupunta na tayo sa kabundukan ng Anaw 2. See you!
Sa lugar ng Tibia, tawag na lugar ng Patubuaya, saklaw ng barangay Rosakara, bayan ng Balsod.
So gaano tayo kalayo ngayon papunta doon sa bundok?
More or less po, paglakad po ng tao ay 2 hours po.
Pero sasakay tayo mamaya na kabayo.
Mamaya ay sasakay tayo.
Anong ITs po makikita natin doon?
Ang makikita po natin dito ay mga tipong bangon.
Bangon.
Sobrang haba talaga ng binabiyahe namin. Tapak, ilog, land. Dapat natin protection na ng mga IPs kasi who will take care of this place except them? And then I hope the local government and of course yung mga supporting bodies natin, no, we need to support the IPs kasi para ma-preserve natin yung culture nila.
Nagkakaroon tayo ng community immersion and outreach program together with the JCI Makati. Dito po, there are 21 IT groups. Kailangan ng mga communities katulad ng mga education, health, mga pabahay, clothing. Yan ang nakikita natin na kailangan tulungan ang community. Through JCI, we were able to come up with a convergence group.
May pag-asa po tayo. Gumawa po tayo ng mga produkto natin na may pagmamalaki natin.
At tama po yung direksyon ng NCIP na we all help to stop selling ancestral domains. Yun po ang battle cry natin. Sabi ko pa nga po dito sa Mimaropa, especially our elders, leaders, if this continues, saan na ang next generation? Hoy, ibig mo, akin ang tinubo.
Para sa makabuluhang pagbabago ng ating bayan, iba't ibang proyekto ang isinagawa ng mga miyembro ng JCI Makati. Tunghayan natin ang iba't ibang mukha ng pagbabayanihan para sa Positive Impact on Nations Change o PING Congress 2019. Panoorin natin to. ating likuran ng mga miyembro ng JCI Makati para sa kanilang Team Up Clean Up Creek Cleaning Project. Ito ay sa Barangay 181 sa Pasay City. Mamaya ay pupunta sila sa katabing barangay, Barangay 182 at 186 para sa pagpapatuloy ng kanilang advokasya na makatulong sa komunidad at sa kapaligiran. Mula dito sa Pink Congress, Pia Gutierrez, nagbabalot.
Hear the voices of greatness on the World Wide Web. VG8 Radio, the voices of greatness.
Narito na ang inyong bagong magiging Sunday afternoon habit sa VG8 Radio. 2 oras ng inspiration, motivation at empowerment sa makabagong paaralan ng buhay sa online world.
Entrepreneur Radio Online.
Invest early in life and be an entrepreneur. Ito ang susi sa inyong tagumpay. Matuto ng mga tips, techniques at best practices sa pagsisimula ng negosyo.
Entrepreneur Radio Online.
This is VNN, Vodi News Network, informing, inspiring, involving, and empowering the next generation. We are the power. We are the voice of the youth. We are VNN.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
JCI members, let us recite our mission, vision, values, and prayer in unison and with conviction.
We believe that faith in God gives meaning and purpose to human life, that the brotherhood of man transcends the sovereignty of nations, that economic justice can best be won by free men through free enterprise, that government should be of laws rather than of men, that the earth's great treasure lies in human personality, and that service to humanity is the best work of life. JCI mission to provide development opportunities that empower young people to create positive change. JCI vision to be the leading global network of young active citizens. JCI prayer, we reaffirm our conviction that faith in God gives meaning and purpose to human life. May the Lord guide us in all our undertakings.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon everyone, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Miss Cha, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, IPP Joey. Thankful ako sa inyo I'm so excited na I am one of your guest hosts here in JCI. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat.
Magandang hapon sa inyo, Cha. Good afternoon everyone. Alam mo, excited ako dahil kanina pa lang pinanonood ko yung mga video natin, no? From the first video presented until yung mga event na ginawa ng JCI Makati, lalo na ng ating Presidente, President Lawrence D. Tan. Ang dami na palang na-accomplish, ang dami na palang nagawa this year despite the pandemic. So, Ms. Charissa, bago tayo mag-start, kamusta ba? Nakapagtanghalian ka na?
Pag mga ganitong event, actually hindi talaga ako nanananghalian kasi mas feeling ko mabubusog ako later on sa mga inspiring words ng ating mga speakers for this afternoon.
Yes, totoo yan. Talagang inaabangan ng lahat ng mga nanonood sa atin ngayon, mga virtual audience natin. Of course, from JCI Makati page, yung iba-ibang mga page na nag-share nitong ating event this afternoon. So, once again, good afternoon to all our audience for today's event. And welcome on board to JCI Makati's The Boardroom, Thriving Through Pandemic, Resiliency, Collaboration, and Optimism. Today's event was made possible in partnership with JCI, or Junior Chamber International Philippines, Business Network International, Kiwanis International, and the Rotary Club of Manila. It's a collaboration effort of the 4 biggest organizations serving and uplifting the lives of our society. We welcome everyone to the Boardroom. This afternoon, we will be hearing from the most influential personality from different fields that thrives during the pandemic. And we invited 4 of them, 4 speakers who will share with us their experiences and how their organizations thrive to help our community brace the challenges of this pandemic to become resilient, to create collaborations, and steam up the optimism to our society.
That is correct, Joey. This is indeed an exciting event today and one of the biggest collaboration efforts made across by 4 different international organizations around the globe. Before we go further, we would like to also acknowledge and recognize our event sponsors, which are Entrepreneur Radio Online, VG8 Radio, SMDC, Pitmaster Cares, Advocate for Change Club, First Paragon Logistics, Top Yugo, AFT Achievement Friendship Teamwork, Beauty Vault, Icon, Team eToro Pilipinas, and we are broadcasting live simultaneously via JCI Makati's Facebook page and VG8 Radio Facebook page. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy today's event and feel to share and invite your family and friends. And together, we rise as one.
So once again, welcome to the Boardroom. But before we officially start, let's hear some reminders from Miss Cha. Ano ba yung mga reminders natin, Miss Cha?
Well, our reminders, okay, a gentle reminder lang naman, gentle lang, to remind our audience, should you have any questions to our speakers, please feel free to post them in the comment section and we'll raise it to our speakers after their presentation. And not without further ado, let me introduce to you our first speaker for today on the subject 7,641 Islands Partnerships for Progress Across the Archipelago. A strong advocate for political transformation, Jude Avorque Asidre has a strong background in youth development, organizational management, and political party operations, having served in key leadership capacities for more than 10 years. He joined JCI Kadahug Liberation, a local affiliate of the Junior Chamber International, in 2014, serving as its president in 2018. He later on served the national organization as area vice president for the Visayas in 2019 and as national treasurer in 2020. In 2015, he was one of the founders of Tignog Sinarigan, a regional political party based in Eastern Visayas that seeks to be the voice of its people and a champion for regional development. During the 2016 and 2019 elections, he was selected as a nominee for Tigong Siniragan electoral bid through the party list system of representation. He currently works as a House of Representative, serving as a Chief of Staff in Tinog Party List Representative Vieda Marie K. Romualdez and Chief Political Affairs Office at Tigong Sinirigan. During the first ever hybrid national convention in 2020, he was elected the 73rd national president of JCI Philippines for the year 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, our first speaker is no other than Mr. Jude Avorque Asidre, 2021 National President of Junior Chamber International Philippines.
Yes.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Miss Cha. Thank you for that, Miss Cha. Thank you for that very generous introduction. Of course, to our JCI brothers from JCI Makati, led by Press Lance, and of course IPP Joey Garcia. Magandang hapon sa inyo lahat. It's a pleasure for me to be here this afternoon. So I was invited to share my thoughts on the topic partnerships for progress across an archipelago. I remember choosing this topic because there's so much about our experience as a nation that could actually help clarify and fortify our understanding of how we can, as a people and as communities, build partnerships that would lead to progress. Allow me to begin with a thought. Next slide. Just a thought. I know this may have crossed many of those who are really studying anthropology or sociology. You know, some people, some anthropologists and sociologists are actually divided on the thought if we Filipinos are actually Malays or Polynesians. There's this theory that Filipinos are actually Malays from the southern islands who migrated to what is now the Philippines, or there are also those who think that we were actually Polynesians who came from across the Pacific and was able to reach the islands that are now called the Philippines. So it's critical to, it may be interesting to ask ourselves, are we those who came from the mainland, who wandered to the islands, or are we from the islands, the islanders who were in search of a much bigger mainland? It's interesting to ask these questions. Why? Because, to be honest, it's our geography that enriches our history. See, if we were those islanders who were in search of a mainland, of a much larger geographic portion to build their civilization, then that probably is very, very good
we are experiencing a somewhat small technical difficulties. Medyo maganda na yung tinanong sa atin ni NP, no? Yung thoughts na binato niya sa atin. We cannot throw any questions as of the moment because hindi pa naman nakukuha natin yung gist of the discussion. But Ms. Cha, naitanong mo na ba sa sarili mo yung tinanong na yon? Are we really
Sa taga-mainland ba ako or island seeking for mainland? I really don't know. Kasi ang alam kong history ko parang isa kami sa mga Chinese na pumunta sa Philippines eh. Parang ganun yung
okay. Kasi medyo nahalata sa features mo na medyo may pagka-Chinese, no? Ako naman medyo may pagka-Italiano, Itang Ilocano.
I love it Kitang-kita.
We were from actually from Laguna, diba? So
now I'm back. Sorry.
Ayan. NP, we are really hooked with your discussion. Actually, the thought that you posted, medyo talagang na-intriga tuloy ako. Pero we are giving back to you the stage, NP. You can.
Sorry, I lost my signal. So it's interesting to note how our geography actually enriches our history. And that being the case, our geography, the fact that we are an archipelago, the fact that we are living in a nation of islands, actually influences our way of life. And looking forward, it has influenced our destiny. Next slide. Next slide, please. So we all know that the Philippines is an archipelago of 7,640 islands. Let's just wag na natin i-discuss kung high tide or low tide. But what we know about our country being an archipelago, these three things. It has resulted in a strategic location. Siyempre, kita naman natin, one of the reasons why the European colonizers were so attracted to the Philippines basically because of our strategic location. From the Pacific, nandun na tayo. And of course, our rich biodiversity and warm tropical climate. Sinasabi nga nila palagi na sa Pilipinas daw, masarap ang buhay because we have summer whole year round. Habang tayong mga Pilipino nagre-reklamo sa init ng panahon sa atin, pag tinanong mo ang mga dayuhang turista, they would always say, it's summer the whole year round in the Philippines, and that the climate really is something that many people look for. And of course, being our archipelago has resulted in diversity, in a unique and rich diversity in terms of ethnicities, cultures, and languages. Minsan when I have foreigner friends, I say they're all surprised to realize that in the Philippines we speak about 80 languages, and an ordinary Filipino normally speaks 2 to 3 languages. So what we've realized about these 7,640 islands is that no single island is the same. You know, as national president of JCI, I had a wonderful experience this year of going around many of our provinces, our cities, and one thing I realized, there is no single island in the country that's the same as another. You know, when you go up in the Batanes, makikita mo, iba yung landscape doon. When you go down south naman sa Sulu, you would see how different and how rich not only the geography, not only the geographic features, but more importantly, even the culture and the traditions of the people. And many people think of the seas, they actually divide us. When we speak about an archipelago, many people think that being an archipelago means that we are actually divided from each other by the seas. But that's only one way of looking at it. If you really look at the other side of it, as our ancient forebears used to think of it, the seas, they actually connect us into one nation. Remember, the ancient Filipinos were all seafarers. So they used to think of the sea not as a way of separation, not as a division, a divide among the different islands, but actually they were the ones, the seas were, for the Asian Filipinos, a way of connecting the different islands. And it is on that note that I wish to begin my talk this afternoon. Next slide. Next slide, please. Hello? Next slide. Hello? Okay. Now I see. Sorry. So the fact that we are an archipelago actually leaves us with powerful lessons on how we can build partnerships the Filipino way. So I've chosen 4 key factors, 4 key lessons that could help us explain how to build partnerships the Filipino way. First is diversity, second, inclusion, then value addition and empowerment. And the call to action is we need to dive in as one nation. Next. What do we mean by diversity? It's pretty obvious to us. We are a nation of more than 100 ethnicities, ethnic groups. We speak more than 80 languages all over the country. The divide is more than just geographic. But if you think of the seas as a way to connect the different islands and the different cultures in the country, it shows that diversity, rather than a sad consequence, becomes a point of strength, becomes an asset to our national identity. And how do we transform? How do we capitalize on diversity towards this end? First, it's very important that we affirm our individual gifts. Many people try to. There was a time in our history when people wanted to teach our fellow different ethnic groups to identify themselves more strongly with being Filipino rather than the regional ethnic groups. And somehow this push, this move has not resulted in building a cohesive national identity. But rather instead now, what we do is instead of just, making our people forget their ethnic groups, we actually encourage, we actually affirm the differences, the diversity in cultures and races that we have as a people. And because it is in our differences, it is in knowing what's different that we actually help discover our common ground. Every time we look, we realize how little we are in terms of how different we are, the less different we are from each other. It's then when we discover our common strengths. So the first point in using diversity in building on diversity as a way to building partnerships is that first we must affirm our individual gifts. What do we have as a people? What do we have as a community as our individual gifts? In the same way that every ethnic group in the country, we are able to show their uniqueness. And then once we know our strengths, we also see our differences. But the differences, they are not ways of showing how divided we are, but we need to focus on what is our common ground. And now knowing our differences, knowing our weaknesses, makes us realize how it is that we can collaborate with each other. When we think differently, when we focus on the common ground, of course there will be things that will be left that we think differently, and it is then either we seek to collaborate or we learn how to agree to disagree. Next. Next slide, please. Second, inclusion. Earlier, I was talking about diversity. Now we'll talk about inclusion. Inclusion now is not just affirming our individual strengths, but realizing that we need to pull them together. And doing so also means that we need to embrace our differences. But in the end, we need to be willing to build bridges. In fact, by means of inclusion, we actually make ourselves more resilient. I remember attending a seminar once when the speaker said that the best key towards resiliency towards building resilience is first building diversity, and second, on that diversity, building an opportunity for inclusion. It doesn't mean that when we're different, we cannot be together. In fact, by acknowledging that we are different, we realize there is so much that each one of us can contribute, and that we are willing to embrace, to accept each other's differences. And in that case, we are willing to bridge those differences by concrete acts of cooperation. Next. Next is value addition. Value addition is simply saying that we must be willing to do well and do great. There is one thing, they always say that Filipinos, sa Pilipinas uso ang sachet. And somewhat, it has a cultural impression on who we are as a people. If you go abroad, when I was able to have the opportunity to travel abroad, it's when I realized na sa ibang bansa, hindi sila mahilig sa sachet. Pero sa Pilipinas, kahit ano, may sachet. And somewhat it's made impression on us that there's a limit to what we can do. If you ask people, bakit tayo bumibili ng sachet, which is actually more efficient to buy the larger portions, they always say, because yan lang ang kaya. And I think one of the key strengths of building partnership, it's very important for us to be willing to do well and do great. Because we must realize that what we see, how things are at face value, there is always behind the way we do things, how things are at the moment, there is always a new and better way to do things. And why this is important? This is important because the size of our dreams will eventually be the measure of our success. As they say, the size of our dreams is the size of our success. If as a country we try to focus on our limitations, that explains why sometimes we are actually boxed in terms of achieving progress. And the same way with partnerships. For partnerships to create value, to add value to what we do, we must be able to not only work together, but actually start by dreaming together. Because the synergy of our shared capacities, bringing together our shared capacities, is not only a matter of putting together individual strength, but coming up with a collective impact. And that is where partnership can create even greater value, can add even greater value to what we do. Next slide. Last is empowerment. It's very important that we realize that passion must be coupled with action. The best ideas, they do not really matter until we make them happen. And in the Philippines, they say that we have become a country a country of what could have been. We could have been at the end of the Second World War. We were among the beginning of the 1930s, 1920s. We were among the more developed economies in Asia until after the war. But we are way behind our former glory. And then we realize that we are not wanting of good ideas. What is even more important for us as a country is that we were able to put into action our ideas, put into action the passion that fuel these ideas. And so do with partnerships. Partnerships, they become successful if we, of course, put into action what we hope to achieve, what we aspire to achieve. For we are the architects of our own success. Because ultimately, it's who we are a people and what we do that would make a nation work. Next slide, please. So dive in. If we were to build partnerships that would propel progress in the country, we have to build on these 4 ideas. Diversity, which means we have more to share, is realizing that we have more to share than we think we have. Our differences in culture are actually strengths that we can affirm and build upon. Second, inclusion. Inclusion means making sure that no one is left behind and that everyone gets a seat around the table. If we were to build on partnership as a way of propelling progress, it's very important that we make sure that everyone gets a seat around the table. Lastly, and third, value addition. This means that we as a people, we as a community, will only be stronger if we are together. That being together actually makes us stronger as a collective than the simple sum of what we do. And lastly, empowerment for partnerships to work means that we need to act now. Next. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide, please. So we dive in the JCI way. There are more than, as the same way, we have more than 200 chapters in the Philippines, and many of these chapters in JCI are actually diverse. They have differences in terms of our personality, our strengths. We have our own talents. There are particular niches for every local organization in the country. But it's not only the diversity that we are proud of, but our JCI values, they bind us together as one movement. We try to include each other. Our unique gifts are put together towards a common purpose. And thirdly, we always aim to add value to what we do because we always aim to be better. And in that way, we become stronger. And lastly, we always emphasize that our actions, our service is leadership. And that leadership is better expressed, not just ideas, not just concept, not just theories, but more importantly, in the kind of service that we deliver. Next slide. So think of the Philippines of an archipelago. More than 7,000 islands, all divided by sea. But think about it, it's also a country connected by seas. Think of a Philippines that's ready to dive in. And we know together we can make it happen. So thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you very much, our National President NP, Jude Asidre. We need to dive as a nation. Meron naman akong mga key takeaways this afternoon. To dive is to diversify, to have an inclusion, value addition, and empowerment. But NP, before we go and check the mga messages or mga questions from our chat, from our different Facebook page, mayroon akong pinatatanong dito from our president of JCI Makati. His question is how interorganizational collaboration has helped you as the national president of JCI Philippines, meaning interorganization, we have other organization as BNI, Kiwanis, how this interorganization collaboration has helped your being the national president of JCI Philippines.
Actually, it's still the same 4 steps. No, first is we try to build on our diversity. JCI has its own gifts. Basically, our youthfulness, yung pagkabata natin, and the culture that comes with it, the diversity, openness to innovation. And some organizations also have their expertise. Maybe the material resources, the network, like of course Rotary Manila is one of our partners, So we're able to get so much resources from the material resources to support the programs that we initiate in the community. And of course, we work towards inclusion. We try to bring together different groups towards different projects. For example, Alay Lakad is an example of how socio-civic organizations are able to work together. We may have different types of memberships. We may have different ends, but there is a common ground. There are common grounds for action that we are able to build on. Thirdly, value addition. There was a time that JCI would rather work independently, and have not yet discovered the gift of interdependence. And then we realized that when we work with partners, we do not only get the material resources, we actually get also the experience. We also tap into the experience and expertise of our partners. And lastly, action. Of course, when there's so many of you doing the same thing, you create greater impact. So you just dive into inter-organizational collaboration.
Totoo yun, NP, no? So parang it became a bigger movement because of the inter-collaboration from different organizations. So let's take a look at the comment section for any questions to NP Jude. Yan. Basahin natin. Ms. Cha, can you read it?
Okay, this is from Winfred Tupas de Guzman. If our seas connect us into one nation, then how best can the hearts and minds of the Filipinos be connected to make us a stronger nation?
I think I skipped this in my slide. There are two foundations that I think we should really take to heart. First is that sense of shared identity, that sense that we are all Filipinos. I think that's very important, that whether what we do in life, what language do we speak, what province do we belong, there should be a greater consciousness that we are Filipinos in who we are and what we do. That's very critical, because without that shared identity, it's very difficult to reach the second one. That's a shared destiny. And the destiny will shape our common action. And maybe that's the reason why we have not yet really reached that level of national unity, so to speak, that sense of national solidarity, because we have not yet built that firm heart, that firm identity that we have as a people. They always say, Ms. Chano, that the whys shape the house. If our understanding of the whys of who we are as a people is not yet mature, is not yet sufficient, then that will show in the kind of people we are as a nation.
Right.
NP, I love the statement that the why shapes the how, no? And I have a personal question. I really wanted to ask this question to you. As the national president of JCI Philippines and someone who is a persona in Tingog Party List. So how do you keep that balance between the two?
Well, when we are in politics, we lead towards a wider community, and that level of engagement makes us realize that we are meant for something greater than the small projects that we have. At the same time, whenever we are in a position, in a political platform, so to speak, we are reminded not to forget the basics of leadership that we learned in JCI. So JCI reminds me that there's greater work ahead, and politics reminds me there are small things that we shouldn't forget that we learned in JCI.
Wow. That's very powerful, NP Jude. Any questions from the comment section, Ms. Cha, that we would
There's
like
still
to ask?
another question, actually.
Okay. Mukhang masarap na tanungan to. Mukhang mahaba-haba to. Okay, another question, Ms. Cha.
Okay.
Okay.
From Music for Everyone. Good afternoon. Question po for NP Jude. What is the common denominator among Filipinos we can all zero in to collectively calibrate our love for this country? Yan, mga makabayan na talaga ito.
Sometimes when we think of nationalism, of love for country, we immediately have that picture of a national hero being shot or dying for one's country, parang ganun talaga pumapasok sa ulo natin, But while we do not discount those acts of heroism, hindi naman natin sinasabi na hindi tama ang magpakabayani para sa bayan, But minsan ang pinaka-effective na pamamaraan para maging bayani is to live our lives meaningfully. It's not just dying for this country, it's living for this country. And comes with it not only our national pride, but our sense of identity as a people. Part of that, for example, is having, our culture of being fun, our capacity to cope with challenges, our collective sense of, sabi nga nila, bakit daw magaling kumanta ang mga Pilipino? Because there's a distinct sense of harmony in what we do. There's this fun that is innate in us. Our songs, our gestures are not empty expressions, but they are powerful expressions of who we are as a people. And sometimes that's how I encourage young people. Discover that fun of being Filipino inside of us. Ang sarap mabuhay, ang sarap mabuhay ng mas makahulugan, ang sarap mabuhay para sa mga taong minamahal mo. And if every Filipino thought of that way, na masarap maging Pilipino, maybe there will be there are more reasons to be proud about our country. We'll discover more reasons to be proud about being who we are as a people.
Wow. Wow.
I would
Hindi na
agree.
kailangan sabihin, Miss Chana, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo. Kasi hindi naman
Yeah.
natin kailangan mamatay agad. We have to live. Di ba?
Exactly.
Joyfully.
At saka, sinabi ni NP Jude, you have to identify first your why for you to be able to create your goal. And from that why, you would be able to look at how am I going to do this? No, being a nationalist or being just a person or being who you are, everybody will be together. And with that, it's very helpful knowing our history, our ancestors. This would always link us together. It's not just who we are or as a person, but as who we are as a nation, actually.
Agree. So once again, NP Jude, thank you very much for all those valuable lessons that you have shared to us this afternoon. So we now proceed to the awarding of Certificate of Appreciation to our first speaker, NP Jude Asidre. So Certificate of Appreciation, this certificate is presented to NP Jude Aborque Asidre for the talk entitled 7,641 Island Partnership for Progress Across an Archipelago during JCI Makati's The Boardroom with theme Thriving Through the Pandemic, Resiliency, Collaboration, and Optimism, given the 17th day of September 2021, signed by Nick Sator and our President, Lawrence Litan. Once again, thank you very much, NP Jude Asidre. Maraming salamat po for the time spent with us. Maraming salamat. Thank you, NP.
Thank you.
NP.
Salamat.
Wow.
Wow. Cha,
Very colorful.
nakakaisa na tayo, no? Medyo matindi na agad ang usapan. Ang
Yeah,
mamatay,
just sa simula pa lang.
hindi na kailangan mamatay, no? Ang mabuhay ng dahil sa bayan, di ba?
Exactly. Live for a reason.
We have to live for a reason. So, let's go now to our second speaker who will talk about networking, enabling business during uncertain times. Bagay na bagay dito yan because we are into pandemic. Mr. Ronnie Marquez is a leadership coach and a business connector. His goal is to coach and connect successful business owners and create opportunities through referrals. Being a managing director of BNI Philippines or Business Networking International, he is responsible for helping business owners in his region, Makati and Muntinlupa, achieve business success through BNI referral marketing system. He oversees 5 chapters with a total of almost 200 members. Professionally, he is an independent certified coach of the John Maxwell team who loves coaching and training leaders. He also a Maxwell Disc behavior analyst, trainer, and consultant who provides personality assessment for BNI and for his clients. He has 2 companies, Arcon PH and Interchange Consulting, where he acts as a managing director of the company. Ladies and gentlemen, our second speaker, the managing director of Manila CBD region of BNI Philippines, my very good friend, Mr. Ronnie Marquez. Palakpakan. Sir Ronnie. You are in, Sir Ronnie. Yan. Magandang hapon, Sir Ronnie. Medyo...
We're having technical difficulties yata sa part ni Sir Ronnie.
Sir
Ronnie, can you hear us?
Medyo hindi pa.
Hindi pa. I think his topic is very much interesting. Sa unang topic na interesado na tayo ngayon. Palalim na tayo. We're getting deeper and deeper. You know, this one now is more of entrepreneur and during uncertain times. how to cope up?
Actually, Bisha, I'm also a member of BNI, Network International Makati Chapter. Medyo sa sobrang dami lang ginagawa ngayon, medyo nagbisi-bisihan ako ngayon dahil maaga yung meeting namin. Sometimes I have whole day, full pack meeting. So, minsan napapagod din, especially now. Pero ngayon, madali lang makipag-meeting because of the technology that we have. But unfortunately, because of the technical glitches that we are experiencing right now, ito yung nangyayari, no? Minsan magkaharap na, hindi pa nagkakarinigan, di ba? Minsan naman, nagkakarinigan, hindi naman nakikita, di ba? So, katulad
You know what? I was also invited at BNI. The only problem yung mga times was the time, ang sobrang aga. BNI is very like early bird.
Yes.
Aga
We have our meeting around 7 a.m. sharp, and then you have consecutive lates. Parang may a certain type of penalties.
but BNI would really give a lot of opportunities for entrepreneurs or for startups, and you know, connecting people from one person to another or another. The network is very big, and everybody who joined BNI actually is very happy with the outcome.
Yes, because of they have the unique system of referral.
Exactly.
Napakaganda. It is monitored properly, and then everybody is given a very good chance to present your business, to collaborate, to have a networking platform. So ganyan kaganda ang BNI, and Sir Ronnie is one of the key person in our region. So narinig niyo naman kanina yung kanyang yung kanyang biography, no? He is one of the top trainer of the John Maxwell. So we are trying to connect Sir Ronnie.
I think he's trying out his microphone.
Yes. Alam mo, Chama, ikwento ko lang, no?
Sige, go.
May kikwento lang ako, no? JCI Philippines, JCI Makati, Kiwanis, BNI, Rotary Club of Manila. Actually, this activity is a culminating activity for all these 4 chapters. Why? Matagal na namin silang mga partners eh. And we had implemented several projects in the past, like yung meron kaming Bite of Hope, na we given out food for the frontliners. At ang kasama namin etong mga organization na to, no? So etong ginagawa natin is just parang revisiting ng kung ano yung mga nagawa natin in the past. And I think Miss Cha, mukhang papasok na uli si Sir Ronnie. Sir Ronnie, are you there? Ayan. Sir Ronnie, are you hearing? Do you hearing?
Can you hear us, sir?
Okay.
The microphone na lang.
Unmute na lang yan. So, everyone is so familiar with Zoom. Etong StreamYard medyo hindi rin ako familiar masyado dito eh.
Yeah. I'm so really glad that I would be able to listen to Sir Ronnie, kasi nga I would learn a lot after his talk and be able to apply it for my everyday life. I'm just so excited to hear about that.
Before, when I wanted to attend a Maxwell training, talagang magbabayad ka ng mahal. So imagine today, everyone will be hearing a sample of that, and this is for free.
Yeah.
So, konting-konti na lang, maayos na ang audio ni Sir Ronnie. Pinaano lang tayo, parang Pinapa-excite lang tayo, di ba?
Yes. Speaking of kanina, IPP, Joey, you said the collaboration of BNI, Rotary, and Kiwanis. If I look at NP Jude's talk kanina, it's like also the word dive. You work together. Alam mo, you work together. There's diversification. There is inclusion, value addition, and the other one is empowerment. So yeah, all of you really did put the word inclusion, or the inclusion means ohana for me. When he said about nobody gets left behind, ang naalala ko, the thing that I remember is Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, yeah.
Ano,
I love that
it's
movie.
really,
Yeah.
yeah, Ohana. Or in Ubuntu, I remember that one that if one of you doesn't get anything, I'll just share that I something that I have. So it's
Mm.
nice that this organization work together for a common advocacy and a common goal. It's these are social corporate responsibility in which I'm so happy. As one of your hosts, I am really being full right now. I did empty my cup before this session open, and very much welcoming for me to hear the words. Remember, this is just the first speaker, but for me, I'm already half full. And gusto ko mag-overflow pa ako.
Wow, wow. So, Miss Cha, I think because of the technical difficulty, probably we will be having our third speaker instead, Miss Cha.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
if you can introduce our third speaker. Medyo ano to ha, in no particular order, lahat ng ating speakers for today are the
Yes.
top caliber of their organization. So, swerteng-swerte talaga ang mga nakikinig this afternoon, no? So speaking
Yeah.
of the culmination activity, no, marami kaming ginawa. We have the Bite of Hope. We have several other projects that this organization joined forces with JCI.
Mhm.
So, are you ready, Ms. Cha, to introduce our third speaker?
Okay, so sige, I will introduce it right now because I'm in full energy. I am excited
Yeah,
to present
I
to
agree.
you our third speaker who will talk about strength for the weak, leaving no one behind for recovery. So, with that, a marketing advisor to billionaires and a serial entrepreneur, Engineer Grace Bondad Nicolas is the co-founder of Tag Media Group that handles tag media and public relations, AAA Cosmetics, and AG Builders and Developers. She's a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Industrial Engineering and took Masters in Management, major in Engineering Management. Her company's signature event projects includes the successful Asia Leaders Awards to acknowledge leaders who are making a difference in the Philippines and beyond, and on fourth year with Gala Night at Embassy of Singapore on November 11 of this year. With a long time passion for entrepreneurship, self-development, and success, and to pursue her love in writing and dissemination of information, Grace is the newest business writer under the Manila Times with over 100 published articles. She's also a certified mentor and coach under Go Negosyo programs and Department of Trade and Industry, discussing about entrepreneurship and marketing. She just received the Chairman's Award for Communication under American Association of the Philippines. And right now, she's busy also with her social responsibilities that includes the following: certified mentor under Go Negosyo, vice president of Makati Tourism Foundation, the first woman president of American Association of the Philippines, president of Kiwanis Club of Makati, and also lieutenant governor elect for Division 3A, Kiwanis International Philippines Luzon District for the year 2021-2022. Ladies and gentlemen, our third speaker is Engineer Grace Bondad Nicolas, Lieutenant Governor elect for Division 3A, Kiwanis International Philippine Luzon District for this year 2021-2022.
Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for inviting me to be one of the speakers here under your JCI Makati Boardroom. So, okay, I'll be here. I'm actually here representing Kiwanis Philippine Luzon District, but right now also I'm still the current president of KC Makati or Kiwanis Club of Makati. So, with the topic also, I'm very thankful kasi this actually touched my heart. Leaving Nobody Behind. Naalala ko tuloy, no? Yung one movie, yung Trolls. 'Di ba? So talagang nobody must be left behind. And of course, the main topic is strength for the weak. Okay? But then again, if we're going to check, of course, other branding of the different organizations, I think we still need to, introduce some more about Kiwanis. A lot of people are asking if we're going to introduce Kiwanis. They're like, ano yon? Right? Though, if you're going to check, of course, if you're going to check around and then ask others who are really familiar with Kiwanis, Philippine Luzon District or Kiwanis, Philippine South District. Actually, we have two districts and we're already here in the Philippines for 57 years rather, okay? And Kiwanis Club International, actually, we're already 104 years globally. So, matagal na tayo, no? And then again, with the 150,000 projects globally every year, we're very thankful and grateful that a lot of people are trusting us also, especially with the company that we have right now for the Kiwanis Club of Makati. We're very thankful and grateful for giving us the opportunity to help out. Okay, so next slide, please. All right, okay. So with the everything that we're doing under Kiwanis, we are mandated to do this following. With the JC, with the Rotary, you have the mission and vision. With regards to Kiwanis, we have the 6 objects. If you're going to check everything, it's basically we know everything already, like the golden rule. Don't do to others what you don't want others to do unto you. That's first thing that we need to, do, of course, especially in helping other people, di ba? And we're doing that with regards to different organizations also. We're doing these things unconditionally. We're not salaried, right? We're not expecting anything in return with all the things that we're doing, with all those things with the children. And don't forget also, okay, Kiwanis Club or the Kiwanis International is just focused on the children. Unlike any other organizations, okay? We just like to solve the problem of one child at a time. Okay, so that's basically what Kiwanis are doing. We're really focused on the children. And if you're going to check again for the 6 objects of Kiwanis, these actually are the mandates on how are we going to launch our activities and of course our initiatives for these people, especially for the indigent children. Okay, so for the number 1, we're not really into the material things, but we like to give them, especially for the kids, human spirit, and of course the values, the moral values that we have as Filipinos. And then the second one, I discussed already about the golden rule: don't do to others what you don't want others to do unto you. And then professionalism, it's there also, and then a patriotism, and to do good for the better community. That's actually what we have for the objects of Kiwanis. The same as what JCI are doing, we are mentioning this also, reciting these 6 objects also every time we have meetings. Okay? So next slide, please. Okay, so these are actually what are the things that we're doing under Kiwani. So it's about the people with you also on why we're launching this kind of events and how it's easier for us. Don't forget that, no? It's always about the people with you. First thing, there's no man in an island, no? No man is in an island. We need all those people. We need collaboration with different people. And with this, I'm very thankful and grateful with my team also under Tag Media Group. This picture, actually, we hold it in Pampanga, if I'm not mistaken, with the collaboration with the Commission on Election with James Jimenez, the spokesperson. So he asked us to collaborate and to help out also. This actually for the ETAs. So we cannot do it without the collaboration, without the different organizations with us. That's basically one thing that we are very thankful and grateful because of these people around us. Okay, so next slide, please. Okay, this actually the next one, the next photo that you can see, education is the key. Why? We all know ang kabataan ang pag-asa ng bayan. And as I mentioned, no, we're focused for the children. This one, the one that I'm holding, this is actually with the collaboration with the Pasig River Rehabilitation Commission. It's a comics actually for in the environment naman. So we disseminated it in the different parts of the country, and this photo we gave it to the Kiwanis Club of Los Baños naman to give it away to some indigents to have an idea, of course, and to help them to be aware more with regards to sa pagsisave nitong ating environment. So for us, education is the key. And if you're going to check also, we sent a lot of scholars under the Philippine Luzon district, if I'm not mistaken, 20 up to 50 people, 50 kids or students in Taiwan to help them in their education. Filipinos, actually. Filipino kids sent to Taiwan for their education. So scholarship is very one of the vital things that we're doing also under Kiwanis, and with the other companies or other organization that I have, we're basically really into education. Kasi plan A, plan B, if you're educated, it's easy for you also to get a job, to help out other people, right? Some people would say that yung education is not really important if you have really that talent, no? Exception to the rule na yon, like Manny Pacquiao, Elon Musk, and other people or students na talagang hindi nakatapos ng pag-aaral, it's exception to the rule. But under Kiwanis, for us, under the KC Makati, education is really the key. So really into dissemination of information for other people, or the indigenous, especially the kids, to have an idea about or awareness about a lot of things. Okay? So next slide, please. Okay. So one of the things that we're doing also, this actually in one school in Pasig. So what we're doing also, they have, since we're really into children, there are a lot of malnourished kids in this school. So actually, we try to help out a lot of children, especially mga malnourished. We're weighing them. Okay, we're not just giving out something like rice or food for them, and then after that, tapos na. What we're doing under Kiwan is we're weighing them first. If they're malnourished, we need like in 3 to 6 months, dapat healthy na sila. We're doing that consistently, especially with Kiwanis Club of Manila. Don't forget also that Kiwanis Club of Manila are the first club here in the Philippines. So if we're 57 years in the Philippines, it's because of Manila. So we're very thankful and grateful for them for bringing Kiwanis International here in the Philippines. Okay, so we're trying to reach out, of course, and checking out the children who are malnourished. Right? So that's basically what we're doing for the children dun sa kanilang health. It's not just doing the feeding program. It's not just giving out food, as I mentioned. We're really checking out for them for months. All right? So, okay. So next slide, please. Okay, so I'm actually here with Kiwanis because of the people also who are helping me. I became, of course, initially I'm a member, and then I became the vice president, and then president, and then of KC Makati. Okay, so there are a lot. That's why we love to inspire other people. We like to be in different platform, just like this in VG8 Radio and under JCI. We like to use different platforms to be known, to be acknowledged, and to inspire actually others to do the same thing. Okay, being a Kiwanian, being in JCI, being in Rotary, being in BNI, it's hard. It's not easy. You're exerting a lot of effort for these people unconditionally. As I mentioned, we're not paid here. Sometimes we're even giving more from our own pocket, di ba? So first thing, these people, we have our mentors with us. We mentor also likewise these people, these kids to do more, di ba? And to influence more other people, even the adults to join us, okay, and to help more. And then again, it's not easy. So I'm very happy to be with Kiwanis and to be here with all of you to understand more, and of course to network with you to help out. All right. So we always wants to be with these people, with these mentors, to inspire more and to be inspired. Okay. So next slide, please. Okay, so the same thing as what our previous speaker told us, it's about collaboration, okay? So this actually, the photo is we collaborated with JCI Makati for the Baryanihan. I'm very thankful again with JCI because this is actually the first thing that we received this kind of activity, um, especially to help out, no? If I'm not mistaken, it's headed, of course, also of Joey, past President Joey and President Lance. So this actually collaboration is one of the key. That's why we can help out more. With regards to collaboration with the companies, we have like Front Row Philippines, we have Raise Hair Cutters, we have Mernels. We cannot do it on our own, right? With regards to Kiwanis and with the different organizations. We can do it with collaboration. It's easier for us, okay? Because they're the one also who's thinking about the different activities, and what we're doing is just to help out also. Again, congratulations with this collaboration and with the Baryanihan. I think it's very successful, and I saw that you have a lot of projects, and likewise also with the collaboration that we have with the different companies. Okay, so that's basically one thing also that we really love to have with our network to help out. Okay, so next slide, please. Okay, one of the objects of Kiwanis, as I mentioned, is to build a better community. This actually, we help out the Kiwanis Club of Los Baños. Not only that, since we have so many clubs here in the Philippines, if I'm not mistaken, under the Division 4A, where Makati is included, we have 12 or 14 right now. And then, better community one step at a time, okay? Um, there are so many activities under Kiwanis right now, and what we're doing is really to help out as much as possible, the same as what other community or what other organizations are doing. So for us, actually, collaboration for better community, because with a better community comes with a better people to influence them and to help them with a good quality of community. It's very hard, of course, especially we have a lot of um, displaced people, especially during this pandemic. And with the help of everyone else, we can build a better community. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, I love this phrase. You cannot give what you don't have. If you are full of love, you're going to give out full of love, of course, love. And if you have in your family, if you're have a good foundation, that's actually the thing also that you're going to impart to other people. This actually, this photo is in Subic. Some of them are also ATAs again. They're really in need of help. So with the collaboration under sorry, with the collaboration under Front Row, also under Mernels, we gave up here rice and different food for the children, and also mga for toiletries for them, something like that. For and of course, I think we sent out also vitamins for these children. Okay, so because those are the things that we have. Okay, what you cannot give what you don't have. So basically, a lot of Kiwanians are there to help out. That's first thing. And yun nga, with this, we went to different parts of the country, the same as what JCI are doing. And with the communication and with the organization of this CSR of different companies, we can launch different activities for these children. So we're very thankful and grateful with the different companies, especially Front Row, for the whole year. I think they're with us for 3 to 4 years already helping out. Okay? So next slide, please. Okay, with the extra mile, this actually is the same as the platform that we have right now. It's a dissemination of information. Under Kiwanis, we really love to have branding also. And with the, this is actually under PTV and Damayan. Okay, they actually asked us to help the cancer victim and a lot of people with diabetes. It's very expensive if we're going to check, no, with regards to the medical support that they need. So this actually, one thing also, no, with regards to the photos and a lot of publication, There are a lot of question with regards to it. Bakit daw ang sabi nila pwede namang tumulong ng walang mga photo ops, and but we really need documentation, especially if the things that we have to give away are not really from us. Like for some donors, no, it's actually, and not only that, it's to influence a lot of people to do the same. It's not really if you're a billionaire or millionaire, no. It's really on how are you going to give out. We know a lot of people giving something without asking anything in return and working in silence. But then again, a lot of people still not doing that, even though they have the capacity. So being here in this radio show and under this JCI boardroom and being on TV, writing a lot of articles to for the dissemination of information, it's actually a plus point. And for me, it's just inviting them also, influencing them, motivating them to do the same. That's actually my mindset with regards to the photo ops and the documentation, no? And of course, we really need those people, especially like the different organization like JCI, Rotary. If we're like checking and reading and if they're the one, doing those things at nakikita natin, they're influencing us, and we like to have this kind of people, this kind of organization to do the same and to launch it more and to become more visualized and for these people so that they can also help out. Okay, so for me, that extra mile and of course doing those things are really very important. And I'm actually very impressed with those kind of people who can do that. Okay, so next slide, please. Okay, so that basically about my presentation, and I just like everyone to understand more with regards to what we're doing under Kiwanis. Actually, these are just the things that we're doing under KC Makati. I'm not really, there are a lot of activities under KC Philippine Luzon District or the whole with regards to the KI International, no? There are a lot of things. They're still doing it even the start of this pandemic. Hindi talaga natatakot. The same is at what other organizations are doing. That's why I keep on mentioning I'm very impressed with those things, with those people who are reaching out to others without asking anything in return and doing that unconditionally. So, and again, nobody must be left behind. The strength of the weak or the strength of the children is with the organizations who are ready to help out. Okay, so thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Engineer. Grabe, sobrang nakaka-full.
Oo nga. Actually, Miss Grace is my classmate in my masteral in Asian Institute of Management. Kaya I know her talaga personally. But I have one question, Miss Grace, no? You have so much in your plate. You are part of Kiwanis, you are the person behind Asia Leader Award. Sobrang successful no. Um, I want to know, ang ganda ng sinabi ni Grace, you cannot give what you don't have. But my question is, who is Grace as a person or as a mom or as a wife? Kasi gusto kong mahalukay yung yung deepest Grace that everybody should know.
Okay, I think, Joey, but thank you for that question, no? Kasi it really touches my heart because it's really about the family with regards to Grace Bond that Nicolas, no? That's why I keep on mentioning that you cannot give what you don't have, and it always comes from the foundation. When I say foundation, it comes from the family. If na-brought up ka with full of love, yun din yung gusto mong ibigay eh. Because you're really happy with what you have, that's what also that you can give. Diba? It's very simple also that if you don't have the money, you cannot give out money. Diba? So, maybe I would like to mention who is Grace Bondad Nicolas as a daughter, no? She's a follower of the parents and very thankful and grateful with the upbringing that my parents gave me. Ano, my mother actually, she's a kindergarten teacher for 15 years. So imagine that I'm with full of kids all the time. Nagsasaling pusa ako in school and that the kids love my mom. While my dad, formerly because they have so many farms, so farmer, and then became an entrepreneur for 21 years. So it's very successful in Laguna. They own actually a construction store in Laguna for 21 years. So doon ako actually namulat, no, at the age of 12 years old. I'm already waking up each day at 6 or let's say 5 a.m. to help out. To go in our hardware store at 7 a.m. to help out because also maybe I'm the eldest, but we're actually three in the family. I'm the eldest, at we're all girls. And my dad keeps on telling me, yun nga, the golden rule, don't do to others what you don't want others to do unto you. And also, if others can, you can too. Okay, maybe that's why I'm like this kasi yun yung upbringing ko. One thing also, because pare-pareho kaming babae magkakapatid, no? Kung kaya ng lalaki, yun ang sinasabi niya, kaya rin namin. And maybe that's why I'm in civil engineering for like 10 years, under AG Builders and Construction. So I'm a contractor also. I'm a certified contractor under UP and different organization or government facility. So, ang sa akin, kung kaya ng mga engineers na lalaki, kaya ko rin. If kaya nilang umakyat ng bubong, kaya ko rin, something like that, no? So, and with what's happening right now during this pandemic, that we don't know if we're going to be alive tomorrow, that's why I keep on posting also that 1,000 times I'm working every time. We just really need to do something different every day and to make a difference, no? Or else, what's the purpose? Although the main purpose that I'm living right now is always for the family. If you cannot help your family, how are you going to help out also others?
Wow.
'Di ba? Parang ang pangit naman na you keep on helping, but then you're leaving your family behind. 'Di ba? So that's actually the gist of you cannot give what you don't have. So I have a very happy upbringing. Wala akong maisip na hindi binigay ng parents ko to me. Everything that I requested from them, I received it. And that's why I'm giving it also to my children. I even like to adopt yung mga seniors na relative, no? I want to help out. First thing, yun ulit, ibalik natin. If you cannot help your family, how are you going to help out other people? 'Di ba? Doon papasok yung kaplastikan, 'di ba? So, that actually, yun, si Grace Bonda Nicolas as a daughter, with regards to as a wife, very supportive naman si husband on all the things that I'm doing. Meron kaming yung partnership, especially with regards to the business, meron siyang strength na kanya, I have strength on my own. So that's why we're already, I don't know, baka masampal ako later, I don't know if we're already married for 23 years or 24 years. But again, I'm very grateful and thankful with the people around me, especially of course with the husband. Yun nga, I'm very happy with my own family, with the children. So maybe that's why it's very easy for me also to help out. Again, you cannot give what you don't have. And with Grace Bonda Nicolas, I am full of love. Okay ba, Joey?
Ang ganda naman. Ako, Miss Grace, meron ako na curious lang ako, no? I'm just curious. First is, syempre, as an engineer, talagang you really decided on doing it also in your family, having the right foundation and a good support system. It's really the engineer part in you. But the question that I want to raise, Engineer Grace, is, you have a lot, sabi nga ni IPP Joey, you have a lot on your plate already. But I read from your profile that you are also passionate in writing. So let's talk about that writing part.
Yes,
Are
yes.
you ready to have the
There's a
launching of a
story
book?
behind that. That's right. I'm actually, there's a story behind that. No? I really love to become a broadcaster and writer. No, during high school, I'm already writing, and then on college, there's this one school that I kumuha ko ng exam, pero hindi ako nakapasa for communication. So I told my mom, okay, if I cannot have that, if I cannot pass that, what's the hardest course So that's why I'm into engineering now. That's the
Wow.
hardest course, kaya yun ang na-enroll ko. But then again, I keep on telling this to everyone, no? Kahit pala nagawa mo na everything, I would say that I'm very successful in terms of doing the construction, especially with the help of different organizations like UP. Joey, I'm talking about UP Los Baños, no? I'm a contractor under UP Los Baños, and whenever there's bidding, 90% of the bid, nakukuha ko. Maybe because we have a hardware store and all the wholesale, and of course we have a very good manpower with me. So with all the things that I did already, talaga palang babalik at babalik ka with your passion, which is writing and communication. So with the 3 years, I had also my own radio show in different stations for 3 years, and the titles, let's talk about career, like I keep on talking about shifting career. You can do it as long as your passion is there. Diba? I'm thankful, of course, with the Manila Times also. I'm a writer. Actually, I took the exam in Manila Times. Hindi po ako dumiretso directly sa president, no? But the president was the one actually who interviewed me after passing the writing. So, ang sabi sa akin ni Clink Joey, ni President Clink, bakit hindi ka pa dumiretso na lang sa akin? Bakit pa exam ka pa? Ang point ko dito actually is really to check also and to test my capability. Diba? So, I passed naman all the written, and actually it's like 2 hours yung written. English ba naman, Joey? And a lot of grammar and everything. Diba? And don't forget, the Manila Times is the only English newspaper, and I think the first, in the Philippines, di ba? So, yun nga, nung napapunta na kay Klink, yun ang sinabi sa bakit naman exam ka pa, pwede ka man dumiretso. But for me, I think again, gusto kong ma-prove kung ano talaga yung capability ko and my capacity in terms of writing. So that's why I'm here in writing. But before the Manila Times, I'm also columnist in different regional newspapers in Calabarzon and Mimaropa. Okay, I actually work as the regional media coordinator under the Philippine Information Agency, which is under the PCOO or Malacanang. Okay, so I work there. Lahat ng actually hindi ako nakapagtapos ng journalism, but everything I learned from the Philippine Information Agency, because the director actually tinuruan talaga ako about everything, about writing, and even all the content. Kasi ako yung aktivista Ako yung nasa rally nung kabataan, no? But then again, hindi pala dapat gano'n. Hindi pa pwedeng your opinion ang ilalagay mo. It must be everything about the statistic, dapat nag-research ka and everything else with regards dun sa article that you're going to write. Okay, not actually your opinion. Ang sabi sa akin ng director last time, if that's going to be your opinion, put it in your blog. And that's why I have my own blog naman. Diba? So, yun. Ayan. So, I hope that nasagot ko why I'm into writing. That's actually my passion.
Ako nga, I'm looking forward with your book just in case it would, come out a little sooner or, in the near future. I would really love seeing you in one of the shelves in the, let's say, in a bookstore.
It's one of my dream actually. Ang sabi nga nila, may nagsabi sa akin, if you're living, you need to do 3 things. 1, plant a tree. I'm doing that already with Hidden Hills Farm of Josefino. So it's a 2 hectares farm in Laguna, in Calauan, from my dad. Okay? So that's what I'm doing right now. So napakarami ko nang naitanin. So I accomplished already yung first. Okay? Plant a tree. And then second public speaking. Okay, I accomplished that, of course, also with the help of our friends, especially Pocholo De Leon Gonzalez. My first talks and, of course, my first radio show is under Pocholo. Okay, and then the third one is writing a book. So, yun yung dream ko that I really need to accomplish. So, I actually asked somebody to help me also. Sana ma-launch na rin. And yun, if you're looking forward to it, I'm also looking forward to it.
Maraming salamat, my God. Our very good friend, the most influential Grace Bondad Nicolas of Asia Leader Awards, and of course from Kiwanis. Maraming salamat. And now we will proceed to the awarding of certificate of appreciation to our second speaker, Miss Grace Bondad. This certificate of appreciation is given to to Engineer Grace Bondad Nicolas for her talk entitled Strength for the Weak, Leaving No One Behind for Recovery during the JCI Makati's Boardroom with theme Thriving Through the Pandemic Resiliency Collaboration and Optimism, given today, 17th day of September 2021, signed by our President, Lawrence Lita. Maraming salamat, Ma'am Grace.
Thank you so much, Engineer.
Salamat.
Thank you.
Wow.
Okay, Miss Cha, grabe, no? Pangalawa pa lang yan, pero alam mo, busog na ang ating mga puso at busog na ang ating isipan sa mga narinig natin.
Tsaka
Sa
talagang
mga-
ano, no? Yeah, all the advocacies, you have one advocacy helping out. It could be education, it could be helping out or doing extra mile. You really have this advocacies that I really admire. It's really an eye opener for the young generations, especially na it's not too late, or it's not all about things that cannot do, but there are things that you really can do. So sabi mo nga,
Yes.
IPP, dalawa pa lang yan, ang dami pa, pero hindi ako nagsasawa. I'm not really, I'm still in the loop. Hindi ako
Yeah.
inaanto, wala, it's really there. So I think you have to introduce, ano pa ba, what is in store for us again?
Actually, before we proceed to our third and fourth speaker, let me introduce to you something about JCI Makati. Since our establishment on 1964, JCI has been consistent on enabling programs that are serving and uplifting the lives of our society. We would like to take this opportunity to share with you, for everyone, our successful programs, the positive impact on nation's change, aka the Pink Congress. Please watch this video.
Dapat ganyan din tayo sa pagpuksa ng HIV. Sana ganyan din tayo sa pag-promote ng HIV awareness. Good morning, Pasay! Then, after a while, people say he becomes until you become more comfortable with it. Positive in life, and there's nothing hard, and everything will just follow, and including the beauty. Sabihin mo sa pinsan mo, nasakit ka. Okay, ang purpose ng talk is for us to identify today.
The Junior Chamber International, Makati, for this very successful gathering of young people in the effort of engaging and inspiring them.
It's a fact of life. Mahalaga ang gender. In fact, pag pinapanganak ang isang baby, anong unang tinatanong natin?
Okay, that's it. Oy, nagre-reminisce kami, Miss Cha, ni Press Lance. Pink Congress was actually held on November of 2019. So that was during my presidency. Pink Congress is a brainchild of our organization. During my birthday last 2019, nag-usap kami, sabi namin, ano ba yung event na gagawin, ilo-launch natin on my term. And out of the blue, sabi namin, real men wears pink. Ayun, so doon kami nag-isip. So, nag-isip kami, gawa tayo ng malaking program. So, it is the day na naisip namin yung positive impact on nation change, and we launched it in Cuneta Astrodome in Pasay City, wherein we accomplished an audience of around 5,000 in attendance in one day. So sobrang saya niya, sobrang ecstatic talaga yung nararamdaman natin. You've seen the video, and prior to that day, meron kaming a week before na series of event ng mga projects, and then the last day is the Pink Congress that we held in Cuneta Astrodome. So that's how vibrant and how active JCI Makati. So Miss Cha, ituloy na natin ang naudlot.
I have a question. Wait lang.
Okay.
I have a question.
Okay.
Promise. Okay. The pink or this in this organization or the positive impact on nation's change. Okay. Do you target the younger generation? Who is the target for this pink?
Tama ka, Cha. We targeted the younger generation. Kasi during that time, it is prior to pandemic, no? Most of the children, especially me, I have 4 children. My eldest is 20, 17, 15, and I have 6-year-old. Sabi ko sa mga JCI brothers ko, I really wanted to have a project that impacts the younger generation para maintindihan nila ano bang ginagawa ng mga organization. So, in that event, the culminating event, we have 4 speakers from Kiminares, Congressman Geraldine, Anthony Caroline, and of course, Mr. Bobby Joseph Lim. So, talagang all-encompassing yung talks, yung events, yung projects, at nakaka-proud talaga. So, nakita mo yung event, talaga nagsisigawan, naghihiyawan. So, we have to tap the heart and the minds of the young generation.
I was looking at the video. I was checking. Meron bang artista? Kasi everybody is really perky. I said, artista ba yun? Pero wala akong makita artista. You know, the energy that was, parang, artista na to mga to. Okay. And lastly, it was held November 2019, you said, right?
Yeah.
But it was pandemic at that time. And now, 1.5 years of pandemic, what is the plan for Pink?
Actually, habang pinapanood natin uli ngayon, I was seated with Press Lance. We are planning a big relaunch of the Pink Congress. Kasi we had a follow-up project ng Pink via online. At ang audience namin is mas marami. Naging 10,000 kami during the second year. But on the third year, etong third year na iniisip namin, probably during the Thanksgiving party ni President Lance, we are actually looking at MOA Arena. Kung papayagan, Kung papayagan. Ganon katindi mag-isip ng aking presidente. He really wanted something big talaga. So sabi ko, sige, pagdasal natin na napayagan yung event natin because alam mo naman, merong limitation. So if we can do it, why not? Di ba? Yung yung Pink Congress, first Pink Congress, it's just a matter of less than 1 month preparation, but we kicked that project, a successful project for JCI Makati.
Mind-blowing kayo pala talaga. Mga big minds talaga to mga to. Ibang klase kayo. You really strike the rod when it's hot.
Wow, thank you very much.
Okay, let's move on.
Huwag na natin painitin. We already read the introduction of our supposed second speaker. Our third speaker, naging third na siya. He is the Managing Director for Manila CBD Region of BNI Philippines, a very good friend of mine, none other than Mr. Ronnie Marquez. Palakpakan natin.
Thank you. Thank you, Joey.
There you go.
Yay! Good. Sorry about that. Sorry. Yeah. All right. So All right. Good afternoon, everyone, to all the JCI members, of course, JCI Makati, Kiwanis, Rotary Group, and of course, to the BNI who's watching right now. Good afternoon. Right? Perhaps at no other time in recent history that adaptability, resiliency, optimism, and kanina, they spoke about collaboration as it has never been critical as now. Okay? Napaka-critical po ngayon, pag-usapan ngayon yung collaboration. I'll be talking about networking principles. No? Actually, ngayon, done online. And I want to talk about how it will enable business owners in this unchanging time or uncertain times. And I believe this is a very essential skill that we have to learn in this challenging time. Okay, I just want you to watch this 1-minute video and then I'll proceed. All right.
Trees may look like solitary individuals, but the ground beneath our feet tells a different story. Trees are secretly talking, trading, and waging war on one another. They do this using a network of fungi that grow around and inside their roots. The fungi provide the trees with nutrients, and in return they receive sugars. But scientists have found this connection runs far deeper than first thought. By plugging into the fungal network, trees can share resources with each other. The system has been nicknamed the Wood Wide Web. It's thought that older trees, fondly known as mother trees, use this fungal network to supply shaded seedlings with sugars, giving them a better chance of survival. Those trees that are sick or dying may dump their resources into the network, which might then be used by healthier neighbours. Plants also use fungi to send messages to one another. If they're attacked, they can release chemical signals through their roots, which can warn their neighbours to raise their defences. But like our internet, the Wood Wide Web has its dark side too. Some orchids hack the system to steal resources from nearby trees. And other species, like the black walnut, spread toxic chemicals through the network to sabotage their rivals. Arboreal cybercrime aside, scientists are still debating why plants seem to behave in such an altruistic way. The hidden network creates a thriving community between individuals. When you're next in woodland, you might like to think of trees as part of a big superorganism, chatting and swapping information and food under your feet.
All right. Amazing, isn't it? Trees talking to each other, and they know the value of connecting, helping, collaborating, and networking. You know what? If trees understood how important it is for them to connect, how much more we, business owners, should work together and collaborate for the common good, no? Next slide, please. All right. So just to show you a little bit about why do we network, why do we connect with people, why is there a, as mentioned a while ago, there is a collaboration that is needed. No? Here are a few reasons why. If you're a business owner, okay, and is dependent on 1 or 2 suppliers, what would happen to your business if your main supplier goes out of business? Scary, right? So one important benefit of networking is to build relationships with alternative suppliers. All right. Number 2, new markets and new products. You know, as a business owner, we have to think of 2 things in our mind. First, new market, no? Mga negosyante, no? Of course, new and complementary products that are that our market needs. Remember, market demand is shifting. Okay. Number 3, why networking is important? Because government licenses, policies, and direction shift. No? Nag-iiba po yung mga policies natin ngayon, and we don't want to be, mapag-iwanan tayo, biglang may changes. Right now, I think the government is making everything online. So I don't know if you know about that, but we have to network with people to understand even government offices. Number 4, okay, yung technology, no? as technology progresses, habang tumatagal, ang mga, and there are new products being manufactured at a high quality, of course, faster speed and lower cost. And in some cases, products themselves evolve, to a better solution. Now, why do you need networking? Because attending to an industry networking event, siguro yung iba sa inyo, especially I'm in the technology business for the last 30 years. Before I used to work in a telecom company. Nag-iba na. I saw the evolution of technology, So now attending to industry networking event allows you to get business information and obtain business intelligence that you may need in your organization. Okay, number 5. This is very important. At some point in the future, okay, all of us, of course, we like to expand our business, And guess what? We will need additional funds to expand, right? It may either you want to scale your operation or probably franchise your business. The best way to have funding ready before it happened is for you to network with banks, financial institutions, angel investments, and probably capitalists. Okay, so that's some of the reasons why we network. Okay, let's continue. I'm focusing now on business. A while ago, our focus is helping out. So I just want to show you on the next slide. All right, next slide, please. Okay. This is becoming exciting, kasi explain ko sa inyo, going back again to the next slide, survey results. Okay. Going back yan. Going back. Yan. Ivan Meisner, the father of modern networking, aka father of networking, when his company surveyed 12,000 business worldwide, and they found out 91.4% of business owners said that networking played a significant role in their success. But, unfortunately, okay, since networking, I don't know sa MBA, is not taught in college courses, there is a networking disconnect. It happened. All right. What is that networking disconnect? Okay. All right. Next slide, please. Okay. Ano po ba yung networking disconnect? Okay. Ito yung networking disconnect. It's a gap between the person who desires to sell at an event and the attendees desire to buy. Okay. Ibig sabihin po nito, marami sa mga nakikipag-network, they go into an association or groups like Chamber of Commerce, JCI, some of them is thinking about how I can sell their products to the people in the network. But let me ask you, do you go to an organization like that to buy? Okay. So you're thinking about selling, but nobody's thinking about buying. So that is the disconnect. Also, hindi dapat yun ang ating motivation when we go to a networking event. All right. Now, I'll be sharing with you two of the most important principles in networking. Next slide, please. Okay. There you go. So these two principles is trademarked by BNI. Actually, the word giving and relationship, no trademark yan. Anybody can do that, can use that. Actually, you're doing it. You're giving, you're building relationship. It's just that it was trademarked by BNI, yung word na giver's gain and BCP process. BNI is the world's largest marketing organization in the world. And that became the foundation that enabled them to scale to 283,000 referral partners. Okay? Yan, giver's gain philosophy, and the one is BCP process. So, in any organization like Kiwanis, JCI, actually, if you use this process, kung alam lang ninyo, then you can actually build relationship and eventually build a social capital that will provide you referrals or business from the contacts or partners in your organization. But I want to focus on giver's gain. Next slide, please. Ito po yung pinaka-importante in is giver's gain. Kanina, a while ago, I heard from Grace and you that we have to be diverse, we have to connect, Giver's gain is the underlying philosophy of BNI. It simply means that by giving business to others, you'll get business in return. Alright, kaya lang, ito yun, no? It's a philosophy based on the law of reciprocity. Ibig sabihin po nito, you give without expecting in return. Okay? Sinabi po ito ni Miss Grace kanina, very, very, she articulated na hindi po natin iniisip na bumalik. But fortunately enough, babalik po yun eh. Kung anong itinanim mo po, ay babalik. If you nagtanim ka ng giving, then it will return back to you. It's an old philosophy of givers gain, ano. And people who adopt this philosophy, no, they dedicated themselves to giving business to their fellow networkers or contacts or partners or brothers rather than making their foremost concern getting business for themselves. No, hindi yun ang iniisip nila, it's really to give. And I really admire this organization, itong mga community service club. Kasi all of them are thinking about helping and supporting. No? Kaya I really salute you guys. No? And I realize, I'm so happy nga kasi I realize ang JCI pala is the three things that I like pala about JCI is three things. Ano? Ito po, personal advocacy ko po ito. First, they love the youth, which I love. Oh my goodness. Next is leadership, their branding service as leadership. And then number 3, of course, business. So those are the three things that I really like to, my advocacy, or I really like to be part of my my life. No? Let's continue on the next slide. Okay. Yan. Okay na yan. That's it. All right, I'll continue. You know, as most people know, okay, quality business relationship, they just don't happen overnight. We all know that. It starts with meeting that person for the first time. Like, for example, ngayon, first time ko na-meet sila, you know. Then maybe meeting them again under different circumstances. No? After that, depending on how strong, okay, take note of this, depending on how strong a connection was made, it has the potential to blossom into a full-blown business relationship. I'm sure nangyayari po ito sa organization niya, where you would consider yourself friends. Kaya nga tawag sa akin ni Joey, friends. In fact, nagkikita-kita lang kami sa Philip Tower Club before. Naggaganyan lang kami. Hi, but I know Joey because of my relationship with Billy Dominguez, no? Siya po ay kaibigan niya. So nagko-connect kami because of that relationship. And during this time, okay, you really trust this person, and hopefully vice versa, and referrals coming in, going between the two of you. Okay? This, in a perfect world, is the goal of your networking activities, to reach at a level of probability between the two of you. But as I said, this is a process that develops over time. Wag po tayong magmadali, ano? Saka ang motivation natin is really to help. And the process involves three things. Ito po yung next principle. Visibility, credibility, and profitability. We call this the BCP process in the BNI world. I want to go to the next slide. Okay. I hope we overtime na ba tayo. Let's start by understanding what BCP level means. BCP, this is a very important in relationship economy. Where we are today as a business owner, this is the level of relationships that you have with your networks or contacts. First, it always starts with the visibility level. What does it mean? Your contact knows you exist and is observing you. Okay, tinitingnan ka nila. Is this person reliable or credible? Next, you go to the next level. Once you develop relationship, your contacts knows who you are. Of course, they trust you enough to do business with you, and also refers you to some of their contacts or some of their business partners. And then you move to credibility, by the way, is achieved when they saw you that you are really credible in what you're doing. They will not, of course, refer you to people if you're not good at what you're doing. Okay, kaya nga importante yan. Like si Joey, restaurant, industry niya, we know that he's good at that, no? Now, after that, you move to the profitability level, which means your contact not only knows and trusts you, but also actively working to generate referrals for you. Eto na, okay? Actively is the keyword here, no? At a profitability level po, your contact or your partners or your brothers in their connection is not waiting for opportunities to happen, but instead is actually going out there and creating opportunities for you. I believe lahat itong mga nandito sa atin will agree and me, no? Na we get business from each other, no? For relationship to stay at profitability level, it also requires you to put in the effort of actively bringing opportunities to your partners as well. Okay, to your contacts. Or you have to interact with them at a more frequently. Kailangan mag-build kayo ng relationship, of course, no? Now, to be referred by your contacts, you need to grow from visibility level up to the profitability level, where people call you friends, they can trust you, you know, and then you become friends. Kaya nga tawagan nila brother, friend, because they have close relationship already. Now, those are the two principles that I want to share today. Is the giver's gain, giving, and the BCP process, which means that we have to build relationships amongst each other so that we will get business, or we can help each other, right? And we can be partners to serving other people, no? Now, I want to add with this question to all of you now who is listening. How will you apply these two principles that I've shared today? Giving and relationship building. Thank you so much for this opportunity to share, and God bless everyone.
Director Ronnie.
Wow, grabe si Ronnie. Medyo, alam ko, babaha tayo ng tanong ngayon.
Yeah, it
But
was
with
very,
that,
you know, IPP Joey, it is a very striking message to our audience, especially the last question. Yung two question, giving and, ano itong nakalagay ko? Resources ba to?
Building relationships.
Building
I love the
relationship.
VCP. I love the VCP. It's a concept, parang ano no? Parang it's a concept of marketing, no? Na yung awareness, interest, desire, and action. This one is visibility, building your credibility, and profitability. So, Cha, I know you have a question.
I do have a question. Ayan. Actually, ano lang sa akin, wait, let me check first yung ating comment section. Okay, ano ba? Meron ba dito mga question regarding sa presentation ni Sir Ronnie? May nakikita ba ako? Okay, since ako
Pero
na lang
may
mag-question.
Sige, ikaw muna magtanong kasi may tanong ako kay si Ronnie. Mukhang...
Sir, ikaw muna magtanong kaya.
Huwag niyo akong pahirapan, ha?
Hindi kasi ako may question, Sir Ronnie, no? In times of pandemic, how do you differ? Paano mo na weigh yung nung difference? How VCP and givers gain principle during the time na walang pandemya? Ngayong pandemya ba mas nakita mong etong dalawang prinsipyo na sinusunod mo for the longest time really works for you?
I think comparing it kung alin yung mas in terms of result, no?
Yeah.
Hindi ko ma-compare kasi last year, just to tell you, no? Last year I was able to form 2 chapters in the 2020. In fact, hindi ko pa nakikita yung mga members ko. And they get business from that group. Okay.
Wow.
2 chapters, yeah, in Makati and Muntinlupa. I launched 2 chapters, no? And right now, last July, I formed another chapter with my launch director. So, amazingly, even in these times of crisis, no, they can get business kasi ano lang naman, you transform your meetings into online. And then they call each other, of course. And pagka on a limited time, they do work outside. For example, the contractor and the yung mga contact sphere niya, like contractor, architect, they have a project, they go out. No? Yeah. But they connect via the Zoom, online lang lahat. I realized, wow, I was thinking before siguro kwento ko lang sa inyo nung March last year, di ba nag-declare na lockdown? We were very fearful. Sabi ko, naku, what will happen to our business? And every business owners is asking me, Sir Ronnie, paano mangyayari sa negosyo natin? And you know what? March to April, we were able to transition our meetings online.
Grabe, no? Dapat pala dun, Sir Ronnie, ako nag-a-attend ng meeting ng BNI, no? Dahil pagkagising, uupo ka na lang. Kasi during our time, di ba? You have to go to Makati, you have to travel for 10, 5 to 15 minutes, no? Pero with you answering the question na during the pandemic, at the height of it, nakabuo ka ng dalawang chapter, nakadevelop sila ng business through the principle of giver's gain and VCP. So ibig sabihin, it means to say na that principle really works, di ba? Na supposedly the business is tougher during the pandemic, pero nakabuo ng dalawang chapter, nagkaroon ng collaboration with other businessmen. So, I think talagang very efficient and very effective yung ginagawa ng BNI, the Business Network International, na principle in connecting people with businesses.
Right. What are the challenges when it comes to technology? Kasi di ba marami talaga na parang yung transition, it was very difficult na sanay tayo, yung sinabi mo kanina, sir, na face-to-face, alam mo yun, reconnect, network disconnection nga yung iba nangyari. But because of technology, how did you transition or how did you tell them, this is the right way now?
Okay. Actually, because one of the core values of BNI is tradition and innovation. I think 2017, they're thinking about online na before. And I saw the post of the founder, Ivan Meissner, talking about what if we do hybrid, what if we do online. That was 2017. That was probably the reason why we're not so, we were able to transition all our chapters worldwide, which is we have 10,000 chapters worldwide. So we were able to transition our meeting from March to April. We're already fully online, and then we just adjusted all the online meetings to the face-to-face meeting to online. So pinaigsi lang namin yung aming meeting time. Kasi alam mo naman pag online, di ba, parang haba naman ng meeting. Medyo inayos lang namin ng konti yung and right now, after 1 year, then we were able to do it. Tapos, of course, the challenge is the internet connection. We cannot actually control that. So, yun lang medyo challenge for some. But for my chapter in Metro Manila, wala namang problema.
Sir Ronnie, I have a question. You mentioned about tradition and innovation. How do you weigh these two option? Kasi 'di ba, pag when I hear the word tradition, parang hindi ka makaalis doon sa tradition na yan, kinasanayan mo na yan, di ba? But it contradicts to innovation. So, paano nangyari doon, Sir Ronnie?
Alright, for example, the process of giving referrals kasi in BNI. Before, when I joined BNI in 2017, when we give referrals, meron kami slip, alam mo yung slip na papel? Susulat mo yung referral mo, sasabihin ko, for example, si Mr. Billy, may referral ako, susulat ko sa papel. Alright? Iabot ko sa kanya, Sir Billy, I have a referral for you here. Okay. Ganon nung 2017. When I say innovation, the same, referral pa rin, but we transition to cellphone na.
Digital.
Digital na. So, ibig sabihin, the same form, better form, and then doon na namin pinapadala. And then we see the referral there. Uy, may referral ako kay Joey. Okay. Kita ko na. It's easier, simpler, better. Yeah.
Sir, ito may question dito. There's a question from Music for Everyone. Paano daw po pag mahiyain, how can we build connection?
Okay. Alright. Ito magugulat ka siya. They thought na ang pinakamagaling na connector are extrovert. Sabi nila. Because they can mingle to a lot of people. Pero you know what? People like people who are open to listening, hearing you out, and asking and being interested with you. Interesado siya sa'yo. Rather than somebody talking and talking and talking, they don't like that. Kaya yung introvert na sinasabi nila na, how can I build kung mahihain ako? No. You just have to talk and ask questions. That is the most powerful networking thing that you have to learn. Una, tatanungin ko halimbawa, Joey, what do you like about your business? Ganito. If I ask you that, how would you feel? Di ba parang kayo interesado siya sa akin, and you really have to be sincere na alamin mo talaga. No? And then let them talk. How's your family? And then you become a connector. Rather than telling them, I do this, I do that. They don't like that. Hate na hate yan ng mga tao, di ba? They like listening. So that's my answer to that question. Yeah.
Very, very good nga yung sir. It's not about being an extrovert, but looking at yung mas magaling makinig and building up the interest actually That's actually the
Yes,
networking eh.
exactly.
Sometimes kasi networking would really think of what's my left, what's my right. That's not really it pala, no? The way you're telling it. It's a matter of yung VCP. Dun sa VCP talaga yung level na yun eh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Miss
So,
Cha.
can we now proceed with the awarding of certificate of appreciation to you, Sir Ronnie? Okay.
Yeah.
Certificate of nabulol tuloy ako. Ulitin ko, sir. Certificate of appreciation. The certificate is presented to Ronnie Marquez for his talk entitled Networking Enabling Business During Uncertain Times during JCI Makati's The Boardroom with theme Thriving Through the Pandemic, Resiliency, Collaboration, and Optimism, given this 17th day of September 2021, signed Dick Satur Jr. and of course President Lawrence Tan. Congratulations, Sir Ronnie.
Yes.
Thank you so
Maraming
much.
salamat, Sir Ronnie.
Thank you.
Maraming
And
salamat, Sir Ronnie.
thank
We
you
learned
to
so much with your discussion. Maraming salamat.
Thank you.
Thank you, Direk. Talagang Direk yung tinawag ko, no?
Miss
So where
Cha,
are
grabe,
we?
no? Very fruitful afternoon, no? Yung nangyari sa atin, no? Really,
Yes.
this the boardroom is really a boardroom of powerhouse, no?
Exactly.
Hmm. So hindi
Imagine
na
mo,
natin, no?
IPP, 2.5
Yes.
hours na. Pero alam mo, everybody is still up there. So wag mo na
Yeah.
patagalin. Let's go on. Keep the ball rolling.
Yes. Can you introduce the last speaker, Miss Cha?
Okay. So again, let me introduce to you our last speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited to present to you who will talk about, or the fourth speaker who will talk about community solidarity, making success in fellowship and connectivity. He is a pillar of the travel and tourism industry. Robert, known as Bobby Lim Joseph Jr., has diverse background on airline sales and marketing and cargo forwarding. His experiences at the global stage includes top salesman roles with Egypt Air, Korean Airlines, and Kuwait Airways, covering passengers and cargo. As early as 1986, Mr. Joseph was already exposed to the cargo business when the Joseph family set up its own freight forwarding company, the Columbia Transport or Coltrans. He took over the company's helm as its president in 1992 after retiring from Kuwait Airways. His experience as district sales manager for passengers and cargo for almost 10 years in Kuwait Airways came in handy when his time came to run the family business. Mr. Joseph chaired the air cargo panel of AITA, International Air Transport Association, which is the highest policy-making body in the industry. In addition, Mr. Joseph is a Manila Yacht Club Commodore in the Philippine Wine Merchants Chairman. For love for country and countrymen, Mr. Joseph has been involved on various philanthropic engagements. He has been the president of Rotary Club of Manila, the first Rotary Club in Asia. Under his leadership, RCM has pledged its full support to the Department of Environment and Natural Resources efforts in the improvement, beautification, restoration, and cleanup of Manila Bay. RCM has gotten the support of 116 Rotary Club presidents for the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding with DENR for the cleanup of Manila Bay and tree planting all over the country. Ladies and gentlemen, our fourth speaker is Mr. Robert Bobby Lim Joseph Jr., Deputy District Coordinating Co-Chairman for Environment Protection, Rotary District 3810, Rotary International.
Hi, good afternoon, Teresa, Joey.
Good afternoon,
My very
sir.
good friend and brother. By the way, I'm glad that you gave me this last moment so you can ask me more questions. Anyway, my 51 years in tourism, I would like to share something. What have I done that nobody has done in tourism? I, being an airline manager, I heard there was a World Airlines Clubs Association established for marketing people in the airline industry. and they have an annual convention. And this convention will be held in Portugal, Spain in 1982. It was then 1981. Okay, so what I did, I told my friends, why don't we go and become a member? Let's go to this international convention for 1 week in Portugal and enjoy ourselves. Anyway, we all airlines have free tickets. All we have to do is pay the accommodation, join the event, and it will be much cheaper, and we will get a lot of connections. With that, 8 people said, okay, I'm coming from different airlines. Sure, that's a nice idea. Great. Okay, that was in 81. 82 came, it was finalized. It was to be scheduled in November. But still, okay, and we went. So when I went there, and then I said, by the way, it's interesting that you will be bidding for the year 1984. So I said, well, why don't we bid for 84? I said, you cannot, because you just came in, you will just be inducted, and it takes 2 years to stay. Okay, 2 years for your tenure, and then you can come and bid. I said, what are you scared of? We just new. Whom are we up against? He says, well, one of them is Florida. Wow. How do we fight the United States? We're just the Philippines, and none of you know us. We're just new. So why don't you give us a chance? So let us fail, but at least I tried to bid. And at least I can tell my colleagues in the industry, we went there, we enjoyed, we bidded, and perhaps, and people knew us. And we don't have any paraphernalia of any giveaways of some sorts or anything. So it happened. With that, we came in and we found out that we did not have anything to drink. We brought out alcohol. We bought alcohol, Johnny Walker. We went to the lobby of the Lisboa Hotel and started making people drink. And I said, make it Manila. Make it Manila, Manila, Tosanas, Tosanas. We went to the disco. They were there. One of my colleagues and best friend, Rene Austria, says, Bobby, we're not making a mark here. He goes upstage, tells people for the next 2 hours, here's my credit card, all the drinks are on us. Make it Manila, Manila. The second thriller in Manila. So everybody was jumping for 2 hours and so, having fun and chaos and blah, 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 and hugging the people, so, and introducing ourselves. We were 9, blah, 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 and I don't know. We all went up so high and everything till we woke up early in the morning with headaches and so, flying all the way to the Philippines and straight to Portugal, went to Portland, went to Lisbon, and then we went to Algarve. More than 4 hours drive and so. Anyway, so when it came to bid, I realized that I'm Asian, so I will talk to the Asians to put the Philippines. Since I'm talking in Spanish, I will talk to South Americans and Mexicans and talk to them in Spanish. Since I have 1/4 blood of Syrian, Lebanese blood, I will talk to Middle East carrier, to Middle East Airlines to see to it that we are all in tune, that we work together. Especially, I said, Portugal, the States, everybody has gone there. So, and then what happened was, I found out, I talked to the Americans, I talk of MacArthur, I talk of Corregidor, so I thought that we can guarantee 7 days of sunshine and we'll give them the red carpet treatment, so on and so forth. When the election came, they said, okay, it's viva voce. Oh, I said, I raised my hands. Oh, I'm sorry. I appeal to the board, the executive board, to reconsider that this be silent voting. Because we're all alone. All of you are friends. All of you will vote for friends if you have to raise the hands. Because you don't know us. But please, give us this chance. We're just new in the neighborhood. Give us a small chance. They did. And we overwhelmingly won over Miami, who had models, who had outfits, and so on, blah, blah, blah. And all the materials that they had on launching what their dreams are for us. And everybody was amazed. So 82, Bobby came home, bringing the bacon, and here now goes, telling the Secretary of Tourism, Jose de Aspiras, that we brought the bacon. You know, it was during that time, it was still telegram that we sent him. Imagine, we have no cameras, no nothing, no phones, and we made it. There are more stories, but I would just limit it because my time is so limited. So with that, we won. 1983, Aquino loses. So I had to travel to Florida because there was a convention to assure them that we are in full control and the event will push through. Went to Europe and ended up in Thailand in a convention and assuring them that, and I already prepared the brochures, the price, everything was fine, there's no problem, except the safety and security and economic situation of the country, as the devaluation has really gone so high and people were avoiding the Philippines. And then what I did was, when I went to the podium and talked to them about my presentation, the president of the International Waka World Airlines Clubs Association 16th annual conference that was in Bangkok, called me and said, Mr. Manila Interline Club President Bobby, what assurance can you give us that we will be assured of your promises? I said, with the indulgence of everybody, may I request the president to join me behind, and I would want to share with him something. He says, Bobby, what can you do? I said, sir, I have a note. Because this one, I have a note coming from the President of the Republic of the Philippines. A personal note. Sir, can you please read? Dear Bobby, assure the 70th Waka that we are in control and a red carpet treatment will be welcoming them on their on their 1 week sojourn in our country. All the best, Ferdinand. He says, wow. Okay, can you give me, can we have this copy, Mr. President? It's a personal letter given to me. Please, share them that you read this and support me and make it Manila. The 17th annual anniversary. 17th annual anniversary of the World's Airlines Club. And we went back. Then he announced, and my tears rolled down my cheeks. That I was in humility, I wanted even to kneel down just to thank them. And I got a rousing round of applause when it was mentioned by him. That is none other than the President of the Republic of the Philippines, who is guaranteeing our a wonderful experience, safety, security, and sunshine. And then they were laughing. And a red carpet treatment. For those in South Africa, it was still during apartheid. There will be a bus that from the aircraft, you will be taken from the bus and go straight to the hotel. And also, you don't have to get any stamp no need of visa, there's no stamp. And for the Israelis, you will not have to go because they were scared of security. The delegates of the Israelis were around 18. No, you ride the bus and go straight to the hotel. People will be going. I did not have money. With this, I told the Secretary of Tourism, the opening and closing of the event with media will be yours, Mr. Secretary. No problem, Bobby. You are an action person. You know, people have to ask money to go there and try to get to win a bid, and we didn't have any capital, and you went all the way. You did it by yourself. You're not even a travel agent, a tour operator, or an events management. You are airline people. You are airline managers. Can you imagine what an honor is it for me, for you to represent the government, to represent the private sector, the entire aviation industry, having all of these marketing people coming in. That was when I was expecting 800. But because of the death of Pinoy, of the father of Pinoy, I brought in still 427 foreign delegates. So the convention is 447 delegates and 100 plus, or more than 200 plus local delegates. And these are yet the sponsored ones. And unsponsored who paid, we were more. So, but the party was opening ceremonies at the Philippine Convention Center and the closing ceremonies with bayanihan, the arts, anything you can think of the best of the Philippines is there. This is what I say. You start from zero. You did not need anything. You saw a product, a good product. You came in, and you know whom to contact with. And that was the time that I bidded, won, and implemented an international event that has brought tourism, and because of the people are all professionals in tourism. So this is what I do something. I have several more up my sleeves from the Manila Yacht Club coming in with, I said I will give ₱1 million in 1 year to be the Commodore and push for the implementation of the Supreme Court decision wherein a private sector, the Rotary Club of Manila's members filed a case against the government for the basura, for the dirt of Manila Bay, the stick. And it was it was in 1999, in 2008, they won the bid in the Supreme Court. But 2018, I assumed the presidency and the commodoreship of the Manila Yacht Club. I said, I'll put in $1 million in media hype for 2 years and see what happens. Lo and behold, after my inauguration, my handover, I only spent 18,000 pesos in publicity. And immediately, the secretary of the Department of DENR, Secretary Roy Simatu, reacted. This was in November. November 17, on December 15, reacted that he is being challenged by this Commodore, and he will implement the ruling of saving Manila Bay. And now the rest is history. Manila Bay doesn't smell. We have now a sewage treatment plant that costs so much, just beside the Manila Yacht Club, and so on and so forth. And many more to come, and a lot more. I've done also in Makati, can I continue, because I think my time is already. And can I continue for a few minutes, or if you're satisfied, I'll just stop. Thank you.
Go, sir. You can continue.
Yes,
Sorry?
yes.
Please continue, sir. Please
We
continue.
are listening. We are listening.
We talk of Makati. I was the SCAL director of Makati. People were talking in the board, what award, what event, so and so. And then I said, this was in 1988. Why not? And it was in 1987 that I said, why don't we come and celebrate? We are Skull Club of Makati. Why don't we celebrate Makati? Kasi itong Makati to parang New York natin ito, pinagmamalaki ng advertisement. Ito raw ang Wall Street. Di ba ba nito? Dapat mo kausapin si Jojo Pinay, ganito. Para kung magkaroon siya, kinuusap ko siya, I wonder. Sabi ko, sir, wala kayong gagastos, sir. Ano? Ikaw walang lumalapit kay Mayor na walang ginagastos, humingi ng gastos. Walang pondo. Wala ho. Kasi we're in tourism. And I am a director and chairman of any tourism event that's happening under SCAR. So I gave them the rundown. Okay, what I did, the first thing I did, I talked to a gorgeous lady handling the Midnight Madness. There was long time ago in Ayala, in all the Ayala in Makati, Midnight Madness. Hanggang alas 12 ng gabi, may shopping. Sabi ko, pwede niyong ituloy yan between this event, this day. Wow, sabi niya, sir, you're a manna from heaven. Let me bring you to Fernando Sobel. Let me call him. Called him by phone. So, sabi niya, okay, I want to meet Bobby. Tuloy kami, punta ako sa pisina. Tuloy kami sa pisina nila. We met, and sabi ko, I gave them my idea. I said, I want every December you always lighten the Ayala Avenue. Can you bring the lights back? Can you put paroles? Make it a Christmas mood, because we are celebrating a foundation. The parole is part of our culture. Sure, no problem, sabi naman niya. How much would that cost, di ba, to do that? And then we'll be coordinating. So nakuha ko na. Okay, then we went to, sir, I need your endorsement. So I'll put up a letter to all hotels in Makati. Padala ko. Please, tapos my letter, the endorsement of the mayor, my letter says, I'm not asking you to come up and give advertisements. I'm not asking you to give cash. No, I'm not interested. I don't need cash. What I need from you is your advertisements program that you have placed. I want you to move it. Just move. Instruct your advertising just to move it and put your ad there. And then I would put a violator that says, come celebrate Makati, Makati. Sabi niya, wow. And then a part of that is welcome drinks. A Makati, Makati drink that you can concoct. Kasi ginawa ko pang contest yun. Pinakamasarap na cocktails. So, naglagaya na sila. O, tapos sabi ko sa kanila, pagandahin ang labas ng building nyo. Maglagay kayo maskeno, magbasa sa celebration ng Makati, Makati. Ginawa yan. Pumunta ako sa Hotel Restaurant Association and Restaurant and Bars. Tama-tama, tatay ko yung president ng Bar Association. Sabi ko, Dad, sabi niya, ito yung endorsement. Pwede ba magbigay kayo ng, sa dami yung bars dito, magbigay kayo ng tig-isang lechon. Mahigit 100 na lechon ito. Gumawa tayo ng parada ng lechon.
Wow!
Okay, gawin natin. Pero bibigyan natin sa mahirap. Okay, takbo naman ako. Balik ako sa munisipyo. Sabi ko naman, Sir, pwede ba tayo magkaroon ng Santa Cruzan dito? Okay. Naroon pa yung isang artista. Kalimutan ko ngayon. Kasi sayang, documented lahat dito, ganito. At mas masaya. Pero anyway. Sige. Coca-Cola. Baksak ang discount ng Coca-Cola sa lahat ng Makati para matuwa sila that awareness. Tapos, meron tayong sports, marathon, around Makati, ganyan. O, sige kayo. Sabi, pero at saka kunin ko yung Pepsi. Pumasok sila, hindi pwede ganun. Pare, foundation ito. Huwag mo nang bigyan ng commercialism ito. Huwag ka nang magmonopolya rito. Hayaan mo yung Pepsi pumasok. Pumasok si Pepsi. Tapos tinawagan ko si Edu Manzano. Sabi ko, Edu, ganito mangyayari, contact Pepsi, I want you to be the host. Wow. Nagdala sila mga artista, singers, banda. Pumunta ako sa mga disco. Magbigay kayo ng disco dito sa, ngayon wala na yun eh. Dati, naroon yung football field dati doon. Maglagay kayo yan ng banda gabi-gabi. Tapos yung mga mahirap, bigyan sila ng chance magbenta ng barbecue, magano para kumita sila. At ang tao pupunta riyan. Ginawa naman nila. Tuloy ako ng Nielsen Tower. Nielsen Tower, yung unang airport natin. Sabi ko, magbigay ko yun ng libreng breakfast. Takbo na naman ako sa museum, Ayala Museum. Sabi ko, gusto kong, meron akong photographer, kukunin yung mga photos based on your films. Gagawin black and white. Para yung photo about the Philippines, the history of the Philippines, ilalagay namin doon. Sa pagpasok, hindi lang breakfast ang bibigay namin. Sabi ko. At saka yung breakfast na gusto ko, breakfast champagne. Pika-pika with champagne and orange juice. Ako na nagbibigay niya para pagdating class. Magugulat sila. Okay, gano'n. Takbo naman ako. Sabi ko yun, sa peninsula, sabi ko, dito mangyayari yung closing. And that was the skull event. I want it to be given for free. The mayor is coming and other luminaries. Sure, no problem, sabi niya. Don't worry. It's only the food. The drinks still come from me. Hindi, baka mawalan ako ng trabaho. Yung business ko naman, masira naman kung papakuha ko pa ng alak ko, akong iinom. So, ginawa namin yon. And what I did, I went now to the newspapers and I came up with, can you please padala ko, sponsoring ito. One full page ad of the entire program and activities. Kada dyaryo. Hawak ko lahat yun. At ito bang pasok ko.
Kada dyaryo.
There's also one good secret. Wag mo sabihin sa tao ano ang gagawin nila. Sinasabi mo, never say that. Never say itong gusto ko, no. ang drama ko sa mga, this is a calendar of events. Kindly get involved. Contribute anything. Whatever your activities are, I will put it in the calendar of events. And that's
You
how
do
I
not
say
preempt.
from the time I talked to Ayala. So naglagay sila. Not one I forced them to. And I suggested, you put networking, and then again, I was not an events manager, but I created the most fantastic event up to today that it has not been done. And you know what is this for government? Eh, yung ate, kunyari, Kiwanis, so sige, linisin natin ito. Kukuha ka tayo ng mga dumi ron. Hindi napakabadoy noon, hindi ba dito lagay? Tapos nagtatuhan tayo, nakakap, ganito, nagyayabang, JCs, ganun-ganon, Rotarians, Kiwanis, kweng-kweng, ano. But, okay. But what I'm saying is, go beyond.
Go beyond.
Create your product, whether you are in business or whatever, you've done that. But with passion and enthusiasm and conviction and determination. And it also always says, of course, from the very beginning, you should have to have a good name that people respect you. And I'm a very assertive person. Masarap ang maging assertive. Huwag yumabang. Dapat assertive, hindi kayabangan na walang-wala, bahala ka. Mayabang ang English nila, putol-putol naman, tapos hindi mo naman maintindihan yung ginebenta nila. Hindi ba matatakot ka niya? Baka mamaya hahawakin mo pa yung petaka mo. Baka mamaya mawala na lang ito, pinyeta. Anyway, but that's the situation in life. And here you are, you see me, I'm 71 years old. I started having my cancer in 2002. I'm living with cancer today. I'm in and out of the hospital. And I was made president of Rotary Club of Manila in 1 year and 4 months. I went to the hospital twice. Plus I had my COVID. And I bounced back. Life is bouncing back because everybody has to be purpose-driven, has to be doing God's job. And what has happened? When we had all excess, and we even had, because we even came up with a souvenir program, umapaw ang pera. Naggalit yung mga iba, dapat mag-celebrate sila. Teka muna. We did this. This is manna from heaven, friends. Marami nagalit sa akin yung mga pilosopo ron. Ibibigay natin sa mahirap ito, sa street children. Kasalanan ito. Kumupitan natin ito. Sabi ko, anyway, 3 lang ang committee nagtrabaho rito. Itriumvirate. Yung mga iba, wala naman kayong ginagawa, wala naman kayo. Eh tapos ngayon, kung mag-celebrate tayo, nag-celebrate tayo. Biro mo, pati yung nalibre na, pati yung ating monthly meeting. Karoon pa tayo ng awards. Karoon, book tayo sa dyaryo. Padadala ko na ito sa Skull International. Anong ginawa natin? Maski ano mangyari, di tayo bigyan ng award o anong award, happy tayo, satisfied tayo. Pero mo, meron ka palang souvenir program, lahat kayo nariyan na, gagwapo niyo po rito, gaganda niyo yan. Tapos tama na yun. Kulang na sabihin ko sa'yo, mag-donate pa kayo ng tig-500 Anyway, gentlemen, ladies, I hope that this thing has to be promoted. I saw the numbers. I'm not happy with the numbers, but that's why we have to look at other venues to use of this video and to promote it. Thank you. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat, Sir Bobby. Wow! Grabe. Pres Bobby is our past president in Rotary Club of Manila. And we are so proud to be member of RCM during his term. Dahil every time Sir Bobby was interviewed, talagang pakikinggan at talagang ililista mo yung mga tidbits of golden tidbits of wisdom. Katulad ngayon, ang dami ko na namang na ilista. Sobra. He is vibrant, the ideas, the energy, the passion, enthusiasm. Actually, when Press Bobby mentioned about assertive, bigla ako nag-type ano ba sa Tagalog yung assertive? Yung mapamilit, di ba, no? Talagang pag nakausap mo sa Sir Bobby, you cannot say no.
Stand your ground.
Stand your own ground. Yan ang tatak Sir Bobby talaga, no?
Pag
So Miss
pinilit,
Cha,
dig in. Para lang tumibay ang pundasyon mo.
Yeah.
Gera ito.
Yan ang Sir Bobby namin. Miss Cha, you have question?
Actually, before I ask the question, the first thing that I would like to tell Sir Bobby or Chairman Bobby, you have given pride and honor to a lot of your projects. I mean, to Makati, and kung saan ka man napupunta, you are a magnet, a human magnet of positivity, a human magnet for improvement. So I'm really glad that you are one of those, nasabi natin, foundation of that advocacy. Well, now to have meron ako maliit lang, sir. Sir Bobby, maliit na question lang to. What preparations you did when you want to deliver what you promise? Kasi ang laki ng project mo, but what was the preparation, sir?
First of all, when you come up with a product, you will already know how you can fulfill it. So what did I do? I used government. I used media. I used the private sector. I convinced the private sector to get involved. VIPs who came were given free hotel accommodation. They were given tours by the tour operators. So ganyan, tamo. The tourism is everyone's business. But it so happens that we are the voice of tourism. I have set up organizations. I have set up the League of Tourism Students since 2005. Tourism Educators and Movers in 2008. These are all nationwide. And I got my cancer in 2007, fourth stage. I've had 4 books, and I'm making another book. And then what I do, to make books, huwag mo suluhin ng libro. Collaborate. Kasi ako, collaborate, cooperate. O di, kagaya yung isang speaker, maghihintay pa, gagawa pa siya ng libro. Tagal-tagal. O pati, ako, madali. Madali lang gumawa ng libro. Kumuha kayo ng 3 writer dyan, di ba madali? O kumuha kang ng editor, di gawin. Kumuha ka ang designer. O, di gawin sila ng design. O. Tapos kumuha ka na kukunin mo. Kumuha ka ng 3 tao na kukontra ng libro mo at sasabihin na nung tama at mali. Di gawin mo. Simple lang yun. O, tapos ako naman ang producer ng libro mo. Kasi yung mga gastos yung pagpaproduce. Ang gastos yung pagpabongga. Nagpabongga tayo. Mag-ilo-launch pa natin yan. Pag nagkaroon kayong pare ng libro ng kayo na nasa Makati. Okay. Magkaroon kayo ng libro. Nariyan ang presidente natin. Lahat yung libro ng activities nyo, ang mga pawis nyo, paano nyo ginawa, bakit nyo pinagawa, yung kada member nyo magkaroon ng 1 project. Pero kunyari, kayo'y 50. O may 50 project na kagad kayo. Maski maliit ang project, pwede rin yung 1,000 ka, ipaikot mo sa district. Yung 1,000 piso, 116 district presidents. Madali maglabas sa 1,000, di may 116,000 ka na. Pwede kang gumawa ng project, pwede kang gumawa ng feeding project, pwede maging sustainable. Meaning to say, kung every Monday, basta nagpapaluto ka ng masarap na arroz caldo, gano'n, hindi ka naman gagastos ng 5,000. Marami nang mabubusog doon. Huwag mong bilhin ng mga McDo na ganyan. Eh, ang liliit, lalo na yung Jollibee, yung pirangkot yung manok na yun. Panay arena ng kakainin mo. Tapos sasabihin mo healthy. Eh, ibig sabihin, wala kang puso. Gusto mo yung mga quickie. Para kang kung nanliligaw ka, ang gusto mo pa yung yung may discount, yung may family. Tapos dalawa pa kayo, tapos gusto mo pa na ma-inlove siya sa'yo. Kaagad. Eh, family meal lang ang binibigay mo, walang hiya ka. Eh, family short, wala namang mangyayari sa buhay mo.
That's my German, Bobby.
Don't get family meal or value meal. Get the full meal.
Punong-puno na, punong-puno na yung aking listahan. Grabe. Hindi ko na kaya talagang pang-save the best for last talaga ang ating Chairman Bobby. Chairman Bobby, gusto pa naming magtanong ng marami, but our technical team, of course, our viewers and other organization is, sabi nga nila, naku, kailangan na natin ng part 2 for this. Sabi
Hindi
ko,
lang yun, nakita mo dito, 23 na lang natitira out of, I think around 40. Anyway, but let us try to shorten because and then we need to strategize because you did not give us a chance for us to promote it.
Yeah.
Agree. True.
So nawala kasi only today namin malalaman anong connectivity natin. Paano busy naman ako. Paano wala nangyari. Doon lang ang akin. Alam mo ko diretso magsalita kasi
we understand.
I really respect you, JCs of Makati and JCs of Manila. We really have to come up and to show. As I told the Rotarians, we connect with the enthusiasm of youth, passion, objectivity, focus, dreams, aspirations of getting young members in. And I hope that you bring in more members to us, as we would like also to do is promoting members for the JCs. Kasi hindi pwedeng one-sided ito.
Dapat may part 2 pa po tayo ngayon ulit. We'll have our part 2 with Chairman Bobby. Kulang na kulang yung time.
The live version is very, very energetic. Kung napanood niyo si Press Bobby doon sa Cuneta Astrodome, the Pink Congress, my God, the roaring crowd.
So makikita mo, kaya na COVID tayo, wala tayong magawa ron. But can you imagine if we do that and then we do it and then we go around the Philippines that they have their venues. If we cannot get it in government venues, if it's not aircon, we can get it. Example, we can have a tie-up with the different malls. SM, that is all over. Diba? Robinson. So we are there, tied up with them. That's our venue. And then we have so many programs, so many seminars, some practical things that will. But the most important thing is value and virtue formation. Because pag wala kang, hindi ka nariyan, panay kalokohan na lang ang papasok sa'yo. Yun lang. Kaya naman natin. Isa pa lang naman ang ating grupo eh.
Yes, Press Bobby. Okay. Isa, sabi ko sa iyo, di ba? Talagang very moving ang ating President and Chairman Bobby Joseph Lim. Yan. So, Press Bobby, Ms. Chuck, please do the honor of giving the certificate to our last and most energetic Sir Bobby Joseph Lim.
Okay, we want to give to you the certificate of appreciation. This certificate is presented to Robert Bobby Lim Joseph Jr. for his talk entitled Community Solidarity, Making Success in Fellowship and Connectivity during JCI Makati's The Boardroom with theme Thriving Through the Pandemic, Resiliency, Collaboration, and Optimism, given the 17th day of September 2021, signed by Nick Satur and Lawrence Tan. Congratulations, Sir Bobby, and we are so full. Kulang yung notebook ko, Sir Bobby!
Totoo, kulang na kulang yung aking mga listahan. Once again, thank you very much,
Thank you,
Chairman
thank
Bobby.
you.
Thanks for your time, valuable insights to our
And for
to all of our
the,
audience.
let me know for the organizing committee to dinner here at the Wine Museum, provided everybody has taken all the vaccination.
Yes, yes, Sir Bobby.
Fully
Sir Bobby, fully
vaccinated na, Sir
vaccinated.
Bobby.
Yeah, we are all invited at the Wine Museum by Press Bobby Joseph.
Thank
Maraming
you.
salamat
Thanks,
again
Sir
for the time this afternoon. So maraming salamat, sir. Thank you very much. Hope to see you the soonest po. Maraming salamat, Sir Bobby. Okay,
God bless.
Charissa, grabe. Punong-puno yung notes mo.
Yung pangalan ko no?
Alam mo, pag si Press Bobby ang nagtotok talaga, kulang ang isang notebook para magsulat ka. Kasi yung mga tidbits of wisdom niya, talagang from experience. And usually, hindi talaga siya nagagawa ng kanyang linear presentation. It's all about the storytelling, the experience, and all those funny stories, no? Na talagang magtataka ka, every time na namimit ko siya, marami siyang kwento na hindi na uulit eh. Mga bagong storya na nakakonect dun sa mga dati niyang naikwento sa atin. So, what are the key learnings? Hindi. Ibang energy yan, lalo pag yung face-to-face. Grabe yan si Persobe. And of course, all our speakers, from Miss Grace, si NP Judah Sidre, and of course, si Sir Ronnie, and the last but not the least, of course, si Press Poppy. So, siya.
So ang ano lang with this all 3 hours, what is it that I learned? I learned about making it, doing an extra mile actually, giving and caring and the sharing thing, and having your advocacy and looking or finding out what is your why and creating that why into a how.
Galing ha. Yung nabanggit na ako, ang mga key takeaways ko, number 1 is yung you go back to yourself, yung deepest why mo. You have to look on your passion and you do it with enthusiasm. You ask yourself what is your value and what is your virtue. Kasi in times of pandemic, kailangan mo talagang maging malakas dahil you have to give inspiration and motivation yung mga sa new generation eh. Kasi pag hindi natin ginawa to at nanahimik lang tayo sa mga tahanan natin at hindi tayo gagawa ng ganitong mga event, ano pang pakikinggan at ano pang gagayahin ng mga future generation.
Right,
diba?
I totally agree.
Okay. So, Charissa, it's been a very good afternoon that I spent with you hosting. This is our first time to co-host an event, a virtual event. Pero alam mo yun, no? Ang dami na nating agad na ma-share pag nakita tayo personally, and we have our second event probably with JCI, BNI, Rotary, or Kiwanis pa, no? So we would like also to acknowledge the presence of the members from different organizations who are with us today, the new JCI members, Business Network International or BNI, Kiwanis International members, Rotary Club International, Rotary Club of Manila. Thank you for being with us today.
And of course, we would like to acknowledge as well the support of our sponsors for making this event possible. Siyempre, sino-sino sila? Entrep Radio Online, VG8 Radio, SMDC, Pitmaster Cares, Advocate for Change Club, First Paragon Logistics, Top Yugo, AFT, Achievement Friendship Teamwork, Beauty Vault, A-Icon, Team eToro Pilipinas. Maraming salamat sa inyo.
Maraming salamat to all our sponsors. And of course, to recap and to have a closing remark, let us all welcome the energetic, the most enthusiastic JCI President, 2021 JCI Makati President, none other than a very good friend of mine, Mr. Lawrence Lee Tan.
Hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon to all. My name is Lance, and then you can call me Lawrence Tan. No? I'm the president of JCI Makati. I just want to say thank you so much for the all inspirational and lovable idea, because with this pandemic situation right now, sabi ko nga hindi na tayo dapat mapagod what's going on with our life right now. And then you know what, Chairman Bobby is a cancer patient survivor. He inspired me in a lot of things. Sabi niya parati sa akin, parang, alam mo, Lance, Filipinos are always complaining about their life, about the status of their life, about their income. Did you hear me to complain that I have cancer? Yan ang parating nakakaantig sa akin puso, no? And then, of course, I just want to say thank you so much to all the speakers. Nandiyan si Ma'am Grace, nandiyan si Sir Ronnie, si NP Jude, and Sir Bobby. And to all the organizations that who supported us, especially the different universities. Nako, nandiyan mga Arellano, CEU, the Fatima, nandiyan ang integrated PPAS, Integrated School. Sobrang daming mga schools na nanonood ngayon. No? Maraming salamat. You know, the Boardroom is the launching of our program na ang adikain namin is to promote camaraderie. Okay? The different big organizations, not only here in the Philippines, but also internationally, to create a projects together, tapos to perform a good numbers of beneficiaries. And then as I mentioned kanina ni IPP Joey, this is a culminating activity of JCI Makati, BNI, Kiwanis, and Rotary Club of Manila. So, 30 days na po kami nagkakaroon ng A Bite of Hope. We have a series of distribution of food pack and medicine to different frontliners. And then ito na po yung culminating activity natin. No? And then of course to Pipi Pocholo, thank you so much for allowing us to use your studio, the VG8. Thank you so much to Entrep Radio. Maraming salamat po. Of course, to all our sponsors. No? Maraming salamat po. Again, congratulations to Andrew for leading this project. Congratulations. This is your baby project, but I think that this is the successful project. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, President Lance.
And then of course to our host, maraming salamat sa inyo, no. Padalaan ko na lang kayo ng pansit.
Okay, so maraming salamat again, President, and thank you. I'd like to say also thank you to all of you for letting me be part of this event. Maraming salamat sa inyo. Alam ko dami-daming nagko-comment, pero sa sobrang dami hindi ko na mabasa na nag-feed. Sobrang na yung feed, ang dami-dami. So I apologize for that. Okay, so
thank you once again, Ms. Cha, for this afternoon that you shared with us. And this is a big success. Congratulations to all our sponsors, to our President, Florence Litan, to all our partners. And of course, maraming salamat, Ms. Cha, for this wonderful opportunity to be my co-host this afternoon. So, Cha?
Salamat po. Okay, so thank you, sir, very much. Again, I am Charissa Muñiz-Sampang, your host for today, and see you soon.
See you soon. And this is JCI Makati's The Boardroom. Salamat!
Thank you, everyone.
Faith in God gives meaning and purpose to our lives. The brotherhood of men makes all of the nations unite. Our service to our people is the best work of life, to create positive changes through opportunities we provide. We rise as one here in JCI. We rise as one. We're gonna rise as one. We rise as one here in JCI, we rise as one. We're gonna rise as one. JCI, we are bigger together. JCI, we are greater together. JCI, we are bigger together. JCI, we are greater together. Faith in God gives meaning and purpose to our lives. The brotherhood of man makes all of the nations unite. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Our service to our people is the best work of life. To create positive changes through opportunities we provide. Let's go! We rise as one. Here in JCI, we rise as one. We're gonna rise as one. We rise as one. Here in JCI, we rise as one. JCI, Makati together. JCI, we are greater together. JCI, we are bigger together. JCI, we are greater together.
JCI, rise as one. JCI. Okay, cut po.